All I'm saying, Carly, is that bottles of whiskey are a lot like packets of chips. The contents settle in shipping. There's a lot of air at the top. I haven't drunk 2/3 of a bottle of whiskey already this Australia Day. It was air when it got shipped. It was already, the contents settled, Carly. That's what I'm saying. Okay. I don't understand why this is so difficult for you to understand.
Why was the bin behind you rattling when you walked past it? How many bottles are in the bins?
Listen, I have had to pay the local council to get my recycling bin upsized.
I figured as much.
I view that as a win because it's good for the environment. Recycling is good for the environment, right? So if I can just drink more bottles, if I can drink more bottles and empty more bottles and fill up more recycling bins, then I'm doing more for the environment. You're welcome.
You sound as if you're half a bottle of whiskey deep.
I am absolutely February. Thank you very much. There is nothing wrong with me.
Whilst you're doing that, I am making myself a little combini drink. Let me talk you through it. Can you see that?
Okay. Sort of, because you're kind of breaking up a little bit, and also your background is making it disappear. So if you keep it in front of your body, you will be able to see it.
Okay. So anyone that's ever been to Japan, you know that's all about kombinis. Westerners love it. So kombini is a convenience store, and it's like 7-Eleven, Lawson, Family Mart. And in there are all these weird, wonderful things that you just can't wait to get. But those who understand know that Japan's food can be a little bit tough on your digestive system. It's not quite as many veggies as you all assume. So there has been a lot of fluffy pancakes, a lot of beef, a lot of, what shall I say, fried shit. So my tummy's a bit sore, but we go in there and we get cool little drinks. Oh, there we go. So this is like a lemon drink, and it's got a plus on it. So that means it's healthy. And then this is called Fiber Mini, right? And that is a lot of fiber. And what we do, we buy a little cup of ice from the kombini, and we just make little cocktails. And this, friends, cost me.
Pause. I just went to Japan. Are you telling me that I didn't find these. There are shops that just sell cups of ice. Cup ice. No other drink. There's no Coke. There's just cups of ice.
Yeah, man. It's like 100 yen, which is $1.
Somebody send a damned asteroid. We've gone too far.
Can I just say, I know it's Australia Day, and happy Australia Day, everybody. But
happy Australia Day.
I have a lot to say about it. Just being in Japan, I've been here, three days. And coming back here and just seeing how beautifully well kept this country is, how convenient things are. I woke up this morning, refreshed social media, and just got so mad. And then I turned off social media, and anyway, here we are.
Yeah.
So
yes,
this is a little hack. And then this tastes like fruit punch here. And there's like these weird little jelly bags, and I didn't get one. I should have. And you put the jelly on top, and it's even better. But for now, put the lid on so I don't spill it everywhere.
So can we set a timer for 90 minutes, and then you're going to be trotting along to the bathroom? Is that how this works?
We hope so. We really do hope so.
Well, because I'm not. You can, but I'm not.
Can I just say my tummy needs some relief, all right? It's a gross overshare, but
too much information. Can I say, I was just in Japan over just after Christmas. We flew out on about 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock on Boxing Day morning. We flew out, my wife and I, to Japan. We spent a week there. It was amazing. And the thing you said about it being clean, this was the thing that really stuck out to me. So many other things you could say, oh, well, it's just a cultural difference. But this was a deep philosophical difference. This was a difference at a level that is far deeper than just culture. And it was noticeable everywhere, but I saw it explicitly. We got up one morning, a lot of cafes, coffee shops, etc., don't open early. It's not like Australia where there's coffee available at 7 o'clock. A lot of places don't open until 9 or 10. And so we go to a vending machine. Now, that sounds weird in Australia, but in Japan, it makes perfect sense. There was a vending machine around the corner from the hotel. There's a vending machine around the corner from everything in Japan. Honestly, you could do a pilgrimage to the highest mountain to go and pray on the highest hilltop in Japan. And when you get there, there'll be a dude filling up a vending machine. I swear, they are just everywhere. So we went to the vending machine. On the way to the vending machine, we walked past a little suburban block of land that had been converted into a car park. There was a dude there whose job it clearly was to clean the car park in the morning. I presume that was just one of many that he cleaned. He had this immaculately manicured uniform. It wasn't ironed, it was manicured. This is a dude that picks up cigarette butts and corners of rubbish. He was manicured, and he was going around with a level of fastidiousness, not care, fastidiousness about his job. By the time he walked away from that little block of suburban car park, there was not a single thing out of place, and that was normal. That was normal. The conductors would come past you on the train, on the Shinkansen, the high-speed train. They had a little app that told them where people were supposed to be sitting. And so instead of checking every single ticket the way they do in Australia on an interstate railway, they would just talk to you if you were out of place. Because if that seat's supposed to be full and it's full, okay, all good. I assume that's all good. They don't bother you. Then they would get to the end of the carriage, and these are people with hats. Hats are really significant in Japan. It's sort of a symbol of kind of authority, but also service at the same time. It's this really beautiful thing. And they would be there with the uniform and the hat. They would get to the end of the carriage, and they would turn around and face everybody in the carriage, and they would bow to you, and then they would leave. And it wasn't performative. It was just, I thank you. It was just them saying, thank you for being in your seat, for making my job easy. There's something really, it's deeper than just culture. There's something really beautiful about Japan and the attention to detail that they give to their ordinary mundane jobs.
Yeah. That's what, I mean, this is obviously G's first time in Japan, and so it's a bit of culture shock for him seeing everything. And I've been putting obviously stuff up on my Instagram stories, and if anyone wants to keep up with my Japan trip, go watch at Carlz J Söda on Instagram. It's all up on my stories, and everything is just so pristine, beautifully presented, manicured, and there's such a deep level of respect, not just for each other, but for their areas. Like, you walk around what would be the back of a property, like you're walking around in like little side streets and stuff, right? And what to us would be like a dingy alley, to them it's immaculate. And there's like a little, the only evidence that someone's been there is like a little broom that's like up against the wall, and then there's like vending machines. And then maybe a sweet little K car that's been like backed into this itty bitty tiny parking space. And it's interesting because we were in Osaka for 2 days. So Osaka is a bit cosmopolitan. It's a blend of both. And obviously, as you go down to the more touristy bits, Dontonbori, you see lots of foreigners. But where we were up at Umeda, and we went to Kobe for the day, which is where I grew up, and didn't see any Westerners at all. And Kobe was remarkable. I mean, not just because I grew up there, just because it was like Japan every day, everyday life. And honestly, there wasn't even a blade of grass out of a place. It was just beautiful. And it had me thinking a couple of things. Like, obviously Japan's homogenous, right? Like it was up until a few years ago, and then they've had some immigration issues, but the current prime minister is cracking down on that, and that's stopping. I must say, I haven't been to Tokyo yet. I'm sure Tokyo is a lot different since I was last there, but also just from a Westerner and also immigration point of view. But down in Kobe, for example, just you see, because they genuinely respect each other, they respect their country, they respect their property. And all I could think of is, I keep talking about chicken in the noodle aisle, right? I was like, I couldn't write that book in Japan. There's no examples. I'm like, everything from the way that, you go and order a donut, you get given a little washcloth, and, you get everything immaculate. There's no other word to describe it. And then afterwards, we went to a degustation dinner last night. It's on an old Shinkansen.
Just a little flex there from Carly, just hanging out in Japan doing degustations. Yeah, sure.
It's not normally my thing, but it's called Future Train. And it's a retired Shinkansen that's been painted pink, and it's full of neon lights. And you go and what can only be described as a mushroom trip. Do you want to see it?
That is a sushi train. That is a sushi train on the next level.
Let me bring it up because you guys need to see this. So I've never been here before. I just saw it pop up. I can't even remember where I saw it pop up. And yeah, I was like, this looks fun. Let's go do this.
All right. And while you're looking for that, because your screen's actually frozen, I don't know if it has for everybody or just there we go. You're back. Now I just want to, while you're looking for that and getting that ready to show on the screen, can I just draw attention to this comment by Duncan the Crusader? Take G to the used undies vending machine. Duncan, I am offended that you think you need to tell Carly to do that. Of course, that was the first thing they did. They got out of the airport. They got in the taxi. They went straight to the damn undies vending machine, right next to the Glock vending machine, right? It's just, you can get anything out of a vending machine in Japan.
Sorry for the face. That's so sour. It's delicious, but it's so sour. It's like making my eyes water and my tongue's like. Really...
I'm sure your guts will enjoy it.
It's delicious. It's so sour. Sorry. Yeah, it's good. Fine.
All
right. Let me show you Future Trade because it was remarkable. You guys, if you ever come to Japan, highly recommend it. It wasn't overly expensive. Like, it was expensive. I think it was about $180 a head, but nothing too crazy. All right, this is it. Can you guys see that?
Oh, a little bit.
So that is the Shinkansen.
So it's actually in a train station. So it's still on rails somewhere.
Still on rails. So it's a retired track that they didn't quite finish. And this is inside. Right. So you have this like interactive exhibition. And
I'm having a seizure just looking at the video.
Wait till you're in the room and you get given this trippy shot, which I swear to God had psilocybin in it. Like, I don't know, man. And then I don't know what this is.
That's the conductor? Okay. Yeah, I get what you mean now. It feels like it's a jolly, that's a mushroom trip. That is 100% a mushroom trip.
Wait till you see the food. Like, honestly, mouthgasms. The food was just delectable.
Please never use that word again.
Mouthgasm.
Yeah, no. That's a no. Carly, down. No.
No, but yeah, it just kept going. Like, we had so much food. It just kept going. I think we had like 8 courses. But what I want to show you today is, this is when we were talking this morning. We went to what they call Team Labs. Let me just get through this.
Team Labs is great. Yeah.
This was the new one in Kyoto. Talk about trippy. This thing was just magical.
So we should have done that. We went to the old one in Osaka, and it was one of the originals. So I'm not knocking it in the sense that if it was the first one, it would have been pretty wild. But because they've advanced and it doesn't feel like they've kept up in Kyoto, in Osaka, we kind of walked out and went, well, there's a temporary one that happens in Albury once a year that's actually more impressive. It's not bigger, but it's actually more advanced technologically than the one in Osaka. So I'm really glad you did the one in Kyoto, because I've heard that's amazing.
Oh, like, I think we were in there 2 hours, and by the end of it, we were like, we need daylight. We needed like this thing here. So to explain this, guys, like, what's crazy about this would never, ever be allowed in Australia. And this is kind of where I want to go with my Australia talk today. So this is really interactive, and there's a lot of sort of, to make it so that you have a good vantage point, there's like slopes. And so in this room, it's all padded, and you're like on a slope, on a ramp, and this is all happening around you in 3D, and there's music playing, and it's all like surround sound. It honestly, you're on an acid trip. That's the best way I could explain it. This is an acid trip. And every room that you walk into had a level of interactivity. So at one point, we had to put gumboots on, right? And we're walking through, I don't know, it looked like liquid gold. That's what it looked like. And then we're climbing these like what looked like swings that were multicolored, and then around
that. That is amazing.
It's honestly, I cannot speak higher of it. This is only $70 too. That's the weird liquid gold.
Yeah, wow.
Jay and I were looking at each other and we're like, this would be like no way in Australia. 1, someone could slip. 2, that might hurt someone's feelings. 3, someone who's neurodivergent would find that overwhelming. So no.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
All these things. And I was like, there's no way you would be able to do this in Australia. But seeing it like that and just, every exhibition just got more crazy and ridiculous. I actually felt really sad because I thought to myself, Australia is such a beautiful country. It's such a big country. And because I'm going to use the word privileged, and we're so lucky for the last few decades, we have no idea how good we had it. And, you think of what's happening today, everyone's just arguing. I'll close that down so we can get back to thingy. But it keeps going. You think about where we are today. Everyone's arguing about the date, burning the flag, marching, protesting. 20 years after World War II, when USA put the atomic bomb over Hiroshima and Nagasaki, they had the Shinkansen, which is the bullet train. 20 years later.
20 years, yeah.
That's it. That was when the first Shinkansen hit the rails. It was 1964. And it was traveling in 1964 at 200 kilometers an hour.
Yeah.
You think about today, we don't even have a functioning public transport system. We've just built, 6 new rail lines. And most of our trains actually can't go through the tunnels.
So what we don't understand in Australia, and what wasn't apparent to me until I went to Hong Kong some years ago before COVID, 20 minutes between trains has the rest of the world doubled over in laughter. In Melbourne, we have a metro system. There's big gaps in between the train lines and blah, blah, blah. But hey, it does go a long way out. I'll give it that. It does cover a lot of distance on the rail lines it covers. 20 minutes between trains. Nowhere else in the world is taking you seriously when you have a public rail system with 20 minutes between trains. They are laughing at you. Hong Kong, 3 or 4 minutes. Japan, 3 or 4 minutes. London, where I expected full-on dysfunction. I thought, this is London. This is going to just be a train wreck, pardon the pun. 3 or 4 minutes between trains.
Yeah.
3 or 4 minutes between trains. Australia, 20 minutes, unless you're in the absolute peak hour. Any other time of day, 20 minutes.
Not only that, guys, just to drive this point home, the trains, like in Shibuya Station, which is the most popular station in Tokyo, for example, they see 3 million people through that station a day. 3 million a day, and it is immaculate. You could lick the concrete. That's how clean it is, right? Like,
you could,
You think about, that underpass under Flinders Street Station, right?
Yeah, no.
Things like urine. There's male toilets down there, I think.
Yeah.
You think about how dirty that is. Even Swanston's, I keep calling it Swanson Street Station. What's it called? Flinders Street, right? What's it called? No, Southern Cross. Okay. Sorry.
Southern Cross, yeah.
You think about how dirty and grimy it is. And the other thing is too, with Australians, we'll see a bin is empty, but we'll still keep trying to shove stuff in the bin. In Japan,
it's full.
Yeah, it's full. Sorry, it's full. And we keep trying to shove shit in. In Japan, there's no bins. They take their rubbish with them.
There are so many fundamental differences, and again, I'm going to say it again, it's not just culture. This is deeper than that. There is a level of, someone earlier said, it's not respect, it's honor. And I think that cuts to it. There is a belief in yourself that if you were to burden somebody else with your rubbish, you have dishonored yourself. If you were to burden a cleaner with having to clean up after you, you've dishonored yourself. There is something deep that you are saying about yourself if you choose to leave that for someone else to do. It's this very, very different thing. I was in Shibuya, so the Battleground Melbourne showing was actually in Scramble. So there's the intersection, the busiest intersection in all of Japan is a thing called Scramble. It's a 5-way intersection. It's nuts. I've walked across it now. Yeah, I don't do well in crowds at the best of times. This was not fun for me. It was an experience, but it was not fun for me. We got across. There was a nightclub on about the 6th floor in one of the buildings overlooking Scramble. I could look out the window of the building where we showed Battleground Melbourne with about 200 people in there. And I could look out the window and there was Scramble. That's where we were, right in the heart of all of the madness. And you walk across and there's this amazing feeling of safety, this amazing feeling of it's okay. It's busy, it's crowded, it's chaotic, but it's not threatening.
Yeah.
And I find that as a real contrast to so much of what I've experienced in crowds in Australia, where density equals threat, density equals be on your guard, keep a lookout. And in Japan, that just isn't true.
Yeah, there's a comment here from Vincent. I'll just share it on screen. Yeah, managed decline. I have to agree. And it's not just, and this will probably upset some of you guys in the audience. It's not just the migrants. It's actually Australians. Australians don't give a shit. You know, and I say this all the time, not to dump on my own country, but you know, Australians, a perfect example is like when you're driving around, you know, your local suburbs and you can see that people don't take care of the front of their house, right? And everyone's automatically going to say, oh, they're rentals. No, they're not. Not all rentals are like that.
Yeah.
People don't take care of their basic things. You go to the supermarket. I've told you about chicken in the noodle aisle. You walk down the street and it's just dirty. There's just rubbish. You have a look at how, like, Elizabeth Street in Melbourne, there's just like encampments from homeless people. There's drug addicts. No one in Australia cares enough to want to do something. We're like waiting for the government to do something, right? Oh, the government should do this. Or we could show a little bit of pride for our country. We could take a little bit of pride in what we have. And another example, those friggin' Lime bikes. What are they called? Lime bikes? Like
the scooters. Yeah.
I think they've cracked down on that a little bit.
I mean,
when they first came out, they were just everywhere, and people would just leave them on a roundabout or like on a medium strip,
or just throw them in the river.
I was going to say, and then they had to go and fish them out of the Yarra. That's Australia.
Yeah,
we don't give a shit. And I'm sorry, like it's not just sections. This is like maybe not all Australians do every behavior, but for the most part, someone shared before the shopping trolley litmus test. Yeah, that's exactly it.
Yeah.
How many people take the shopping trolley back? Or when you go into Bunnings or a Kmart on a busy day and you're trying to get a park and people are like, fuck you, I'm trying to park here. It's like, we're not even nice to each other.
Yeah.
That's Australia. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just, I don't know. I've been here 3 days and I just feel, I feel really sad. And then, sorry.
I had the same experience when I went to Japan. Now we're not going to spend the whole show dumping on Australia, but I have to say, it's useful to get second opinion is not the right word. It's useful to see what's possible.
Yeah,
it's useful to see how other people live, both in the negative and in the positive, and we need to be humble enough to say, hey, actually, there are some things that other people do better than us.
Yeah.
I think Australia is amazing. I love Australia. I released a video today talking a lot about that. We're going to get onto those topics. I love Australia. I think Australia is an amazing place. I won the lottery when I was born here, but let's not pretend that we've got everything right. Let's not pretend that we can't learn from others. And can I just say, before I let you have another go, Carly, Daniel is the reason why I am already ripped and 2/3 of the way into a bottle of scotch. He came over for a cigar at my house this afternoon. And Daniel, whatever happens tonight is your fault. I blame you. If I end up getting sued for whatever I say in the next hour and a half, it is entirely your fault. I'm going to bankrupt you instead of me. I blame you. I blame you. Simple as that. Nice. So Daniel, welcome to the show.
Nice. Yeah, I'm not going to keep shitting on Australia. I'm the same with you. I love our country. I love Australia. One of my favorite reasons for traveling is to see, again, what's possible, to be inspired, to see how other people live. And then I used to always love, landing at Melbourne Airport, driving home on the Balti Bridge and seeing Melbourne lit up and going home and realizing how much I love Australia. But, it doesn't feel like that at the moment. And I think a lot of it stems from the fact that we've had it too good for too long. And even today, just on Australia Day, it's the same every year. You've got the change the date crowd. You've got your patriots. It's just someone make a fucking decision at this point. Do you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to change the date.
Hang on. That debate's over. So the IPA for the last, I think it's 8 years, might be 7 years, have been doing an annual survey on support for Australia Day. Now, here's the amazing thing.
Do Triple J know this? Do the ABC know this? Because judging by what they posted today, they believe that we do want to change it.
But we already know that the Triple J and the ABC know nothing. That's a given. So the IPA have been doing annual research. Support for Australia Day being on January 26th is now at 76% across the Australian population. But here's the kicker. You know, you and I have talked a lot about young people and how, hey, the kids are all right. Like, you go young enough, they have woken up to the lie of how their parents have lived and even how their grandparents have lived, and they're looking for something even older. They're going to Orthodox churches and Catholic churches. They're reaching back into history. They're being more conservative. They're doing less drugs. They're drinking less alcohol. They're getting married younger. They're planning to have more kids. They're getting trades and working real jobs. Like, these kids are weird, right? They are weird by modern standards. And in actual fact, it extends to Support for Australia Day being on January 26th. According to the IPA's research, if you look at the age bracket of 18 to 24, Support for Australia Day remaining on January 26th is running at 83%.
Yeah.
And opposition, people saying it should change, is running at 10% in that age bracket. 1 in 10 people thinks it should change. 8.5 out of 10 people think it should stay right where it is. The kids are all right, Carly. The future is actually looking really good. We fucked up so badly that our kids, like that generation that's young enough to be my kids, they are looking at people like me, their parents, and going, nah, we don't want that. And they're going back to something better.
They're looking at their older brothers and sisters and going, whatever that is, I don't want that.
They're looking at the older kids in high school saying, you're a furry?
Yeah.
No, you're not. And sorry, the adults, the teachers, the superintendents, the district coordinators are humoring you as you throw your life away on some bullshit mental health fantasy. Nuh-uh. Yeah. The kids have watched us screw it up so badly that they're actually becoming conservatives.
You know, it's interesting because I've got a couple of Iranians who follow me who I've been talking to a lot, and they obviously migrated to Australia. And with everything that's going on in Iran, they're just looking around going, and I'm sure most migrants to Australia think like this too. Maybe not all, but many of them would look at Australians and go, what the hell is your problem? You have no idea how good you have it. Correct. You have the most beautiful, pristine country. Yet you're all suffering under some like white guilt. You're all angry all the time. Why? Yeah. Why? And I was thinking about the change the date thing, right? I refuse to change the date. I don't want to bend the knee to the mob. But, you know, I understand why it's bad for Aboriginals. But realistically, okay, if the 26th is bad, 200, 300 years ago, let's change it. Let's give it a new meaning. Let's give it a day of national pride. The only people who are feeling all of these feelings are usually the inner city woke ones. You're like 3 centuries removed. Maybe not 3 centuries. What, 250 centuries?
Yeah, 2.5. Yeah.
You're so far removed from it. What's that, like 8 generations? 9?
Something like that. Yeah.
Get over it. You're the one that keeps this going. And I know I've said this before on the podcast, and I'm sure you guys would all agree. Why is it around the British colonialism? That's the bad part of history. Why don't we go further back to what happened with the Persians or the Ottomans or Genghis Khan? Why is it that specific year? Because
that's not useful, Carly. It's not useful. We can use this.
I know this. But, even like looking back, like there's a lot of discussion around the Islamic regime, right? And what happened to Persia and Arabia when the Islamists took over and invaded.
Yeah.
1400 years ago, right?
No, it was in the 1400s, about 700 years ago.
Was it? I thought it was earlier than that. Okay, sorry. I've got my time wrong.
Okay, no, stop. Let me hang on. Let me think. No, you're right. Sorry. Yes, you're right. Sorry. It was in the 1700s that Muhammad did his thing. Yes, you're right. It was 1400 odd years ago. Sorry, my bad.
Yeah. So you think about this. They slaughtered Christians. They slaughtered the nomads. They slaughtered everyone because they wanted them to convert to Islam. That was 1400 years ago. You think about, a few months ago, I shared a video with you guys showing you the national dress of Syria, Afghanistan, Turkmenistan, all these different places, and what they were like pre-Islam. That's what Islam, and I'm not making this a rant about Islam. But that's an example of colonization at the hand of Islamists. Okay, British colonizers, they were brutal. Of course they were. But so were the Apaches. So were other...
hang on. British colonizers, if you got colonized by the British, you'd won the freaking lottery. You want to see what the Spanish did? You want to see what the Germans did? You want to see what the Chinese did? You want to see you want to see what the Muslims did? Any other culture? Yeah, the Japanese. If you got colonized by the British, you had won the freaking lottery. Was it perfect? No. Was it by far, by orders of magnitude, the best of the options? Yes.
But I've just had a gutful of judging 250, 60, 70 years ago by today's ridiculous standards. Like back then, they didn't have electricity. Yeah. Back then, they didn't have half of the amenities that we have today. They slept on straw mattresses. Yeah. They were lucky to have a hot meal a day. Yeah. These people had like 2 sets of clothes. They lived in rooms that had dirt on the floor. And you're judging the way they behaved 250, 60, 70 years ago by today's standards, where you've got Wi-Fi, you've got your iPhone, you've got the to go to any country that you want. I just had enough of this. And like, honestly, on this whole Australia Day thing, you know, I am very proud to be Australian. I know I was shitting on Australia when I opened up the podcast, but I love this country. I love our country. I love everything about being Aussie. I love our Boganis. I love our did you like that?
Our Bogan one. If you're watching, give us a shout.
I love all of that part of us. You know, I love the sausage sizzle. I love the the Bogan side of us, the ochre. I love the crocodile Dundee. I love the Vegemite sandwich. But we've got so much other stuff that we add to it as well. Why can't I be proud to come from Australia, whereas every other country on this planet, maybe bar America and Canada at the moment, are proud? And yet what's ironic about all this, I found this really interesting today. Obviously, the Triple J Hottest 100 was a couple of days ago. And depending who you ask, it was the worst one they've ever had. And the reason being, it was not very supportive of Aussie artists. There was this massive dialogue around the fact that the Triple J Hottest 100 isn't supporting local music anymore. And apart from Callie Holiday, which is Abby Chatfield's boyfriend, he came in at number 2. And I thought, hang on a minute, you hate Australians. You hate Australia. Why would you be worried about our music scene? You told us that we have to feel apologetic for everything about us. Why the hell would you be championing Aussie music? That makes perfect sense to me. If you're Triple J, if you're the ABC, that probably the last thing you would play is Australian music because, terrible.
100%. 100%.
So, there are
wouldn't want to be supporting an oppressor.
Why would you champion Australians? Because we hate Australia. We're burning the flag.
All right. Can we knuckle down though on this Australia Day thing? Australia. So it was Clive James who said, sorry?
Sorry, I just said thank you, Kathy.
Thank you, Kathy. It was Clive James, a historian, sort of comedian, commentator guy, who said the problem with Australia is not that it was colonized, is not that so many Australians are descended from the convicts, but that so many are descended from the jailers, right, from the prison officers that came over with them. And this is the thing. It was Horn, what's his name? Somebody Horn, who wrote The Lucky Country, the book The Lucky Country, said Australia is a lucky country, which is what Kathy's saying here. Australia's a lucky country. That's not a compliment. He said Australia is a lucky country run by second-rate people who share in its luck. It wasn't a compliment. It was a warning saying, hey, guys, you are not prosperous because you're so good at what you do, because you're hardworking, because you're conscientious, because your culture leads to you being successful. No. You're lucky. You have luck of geography. You have luck by being conquered by the English and not by the Spanish. You have luck by having minerals in the ground. You have luck in so many different ways, but you're run by second-rate people. And you could squander your luck and find that it's run out at any moment in time. And sadly, that remains true. So I like what Kathy said here. It's time to get working on getting One Nation elected. So I said in my video today, I did an Australia Day video earlier today on my socials. we have to accept that Australia is two parallel cultures in one. One of the reasons why the culture wars in Australia is so fraught and everyone's so divided is because actually there isn't a single Australian culture. The Aussie culture that we romanticize, that we love, the larrikin, the hardworking, always there for your mates, can take a joke kind of Aussie, that's one of the Australian cultures. It's real, it's true, it exists, but that's actually only one of two. There's a second Australian culture. The second Australian culture came from the jailers, the prison guards, right? This larrikin, she'll be right, Crocodile Dundee, Steve Irwin, Bob Hawke culture came from the convicts, right? It came from the people that had to, and the free settlers, the people that tamed this continent, that worked hard, the blood, the sweat, the tears, that gave life to this culture.
Yeah.
This culture, this came with the prison guards, the people who were privileged, the people who got to boss other people around and never have to lift a finger themselves. Now, that's the busybody culture, and that is still alive and well in Australia. And we are not going to understand the culture war in Australia for as long as we keep treating it like there's a single Australian culture. Yeah. There isn't. There's two. They both exist in parallel. Here's the problem, Carly. Have a think about the kind of person that wants to get a position in government, in local council, as a police officer, as in any sort of position of power. Is it you or I, the libertarian, live and let live? Hey, if they haven't hurt anybody, it's all good. Or is it the busybody, the person who's looking over the neighbor's fence to see whether they've done something wrong? Like, it's the busybodies. Yeah. They want the power. They want the position. They want the safety of the government job and the privilege and the importance that comes with it. So what we've got is a culture where actually at a grassroots level, we're the true blue Aussie, we're the convict Aussie. But at an elite level, in government, in politics, in positions of power, in industry, in all of your various institutions, these are the busybodies. And so actually our... Sorry.
No, go.
Our culture isn't just parallel cultures this way. It's actually this way, where the busybody culture has occupied the high ground. And this is our task now, whether we like it or not. Plato said, the price you pay for not paying attention to politics, I'm paraphrasing, the price you pay for not paying attention is that you will be ruled by evil men, by evil people. And that's the situation we find ourselves in. The Aussie culture that we know and love is still alive. It's still here. It exists within a lot of the Australian people, but it's nowhere to be found in our government, in our institutions, in our higher education, in our culture. And it's our job to take that back.
I think so too. And not to take it off in a more negative way, but if we look at what's going on in Iran, for example, it's now estimated... They're saying by safe estimates, it's 30,000. By all accounts, it could be up to 50, 80, 70, 100,000. We don't know.
Sorry, just a slightly lighter note. It's VN Bagani. He's joined the chat. How are you? We were talking about you 5 minutes ago. We were talking about you, Mr. Bagani.
VN Bogani, we are going to have to make a T-shirt in your honor, sir, because Topher can't read. It's not Bogan one, it's Bogani.
It is Bogani. Sorry, carry on.
Contrast over to Iran for a second. You've got people who are fighting with no weapons, with no guns, against people who are just firing machine guns off into their citizens with no care at all, with no consideration to human rights. And all they want is a taste of what we have in Australia. The freedom of expression, the freedom to just show their freaking hair. And then you get people who have the audacity, because they are so privileged, to claim that Australia is a terrible country and we do terrible things. I'm sorry. There are obviously examples. And like you always say, Topher, pay attention to the individual. And I agree with that sentiment. Yeah. They're like, oh, Aussie men are like this. I'm like, no. A handful of Aussie men are like that.
Yeah,
for sure.
100%.
Most Aussie men that I personally encounter, and maybe it's indicative of who you hang around, but most Aussie men,
or who you attract,
that's another one.
That's something that a lot of people don't want to talk about. I'm surrounded by assholes. That's interesting.
Probably because you are one.
Attract?
It's interesting you say that. Maybe we'll jump across here because the whole Iran thing's a little bit too.
That's a bit dark.
Too dark for today. when I talk to my single girlfriends, they go, "Oh, how do I get a G?" Right? Like as in Gareth. Or,
Sure.
and then men will say, "Oh, I want a Carlz," right? And what they're referring to is not me specifically, but like the attributes I embody. I'm easygoing. I'm a generally happy, positive person. I'm motivated. I take care of myself. Like nothing about me
You're really freaking annoying. Yeah, no, I hear you. I hear you. Yeah.
That's right as a woman. That's kind of why we got the boobs.
Yes.
The boobs allow us to be annoying.
So can I speak to this for a moment? Women come with stress balls. Women come with stress balls, 2 of them, okay? And they're lovely, and we really like de-stressing with them. The thing is, they're attached to our greatest source of stress. So it's kind of like a package deal. It's just sort of you get the stress and you get the stress relief all in a single package.
Yeah. This is why God made us the way we are. It's a lovely dichotomy. It all equals itself out. But
it's a practical joke. God played a practical joke on men.
Indeed, it did. Indeed, he did. But like I hear this from people all the time. How do I find someone? Like, dating's so hard. And the answer is honestly, are you the right person? Are you embodying all those habits that you want from someone? Are you someone that reflects back the same kind of person that you want? Because I hear it from women all the time, and I actually maybe it's worth showing. Actually, I'm going to bring this up since we're here. This is a good tangent. So, you know how I am always looking at culture. I say this a couple of weeks ago, and we just haven't had a chance to get to this.
You are insufferably banging on about it relentlessly 24/7. Yes, I am aware.
What am I? Here we go. All right.
About culture.
Yeah. So this is a really good one because I know some of you guys probably don't come across this stuff. So you think about, we've talked about young women, right? And how young woke women are particularly diabolical today, right? In 2026, the woke woman, the screech, the person who's constantly out there pushing some kind of social justice issue, I think it's really exacerbated over in the US at the moment, particularly with ICE. And what I see is a lot of Australian women just like also sharing that content. I'm sitting there going, this is none of your business how America deals with their illegal migration. And, what I can't stand is the bandwagon supporting. Just because it's Trump, it's automatically bad. Just because this person died, all of a sudden it's the worst, right? And I'll give you an example. This is what we're up against. So I apologize because this is hard to watch. This is Women Today. Where are we? Here we go.
Ricky, we'll come back to that comment. That's a good comment.
Can you guys see that? All right, I'm going to play this from the start.
Okay, she already looks crazy.
A deposit to take me on a After I said I would require a deposit to take me on a date to cover my date preparation costs, I'm now working with an app developer to make this a reality. This is actually happening. We are building the app. I'm not even exaggerating when I tell you this is the best damn dating app you have ever seen, because there is a clear difference here where the woman can set the deposit rate and the man can pay for her date preparation costs. So as a woman, you're going to walk into the date already so happy, and that's going to lead to a better date and a better connection. And that gives the man a better chance of succeeding in courting you. The app is called Courted. So when people ask, how did you meet? You can say, he courted me.
I can't.
So has she never heard of a thing called prostitution?
That's essentially
where women get paid to show up looking a certain way and doing certain, like being super happy. Like, honest, like, sorry, is this women's liberation now? We're turning an ordinary date into a paid transaction?
Yes. Like, and the irony of it is they can't see that. They don't get it.
Honestly, I don't have enough left. I don't have enough for this conversation, Carly.
The level of entitlement, and I mean, we've looked at the graphs, right? Women have gone super progressive, men have gone somewhat more moderately conservative, and the disparity between the two is huge. And I look at this and I go, most of these women, not all, most of them are mildly attractive at best. They're either someone who spends a lot of money themselves getting the Botox, the nails, and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And then others, they're more the progressive side, the septum piercing, the colorful hair, whatever. They're extremes. They're caricatures of themselves. And what they want, what they refuse to acknowledge, is they want your typical Aussie man. They want a strong man, a man who's useful, a man who will provide for them, but they don't want to do that themselves. They don't want to contribute. They just want to sit there and receive because they deserve it. And when you think about it, right, if that's half the voting bloc, not all women, obviously, I'm not one of those people, but when you take this portion of leftist women, that's what they're like. That's the way they view the world. Then it makes sense the way they vote, the way they do. Give me more. I want the government to pay for more. Why isn't the government doing more things? I want more free university. I want more free handouts. I shouldn't have to do anything. And the reason that matters is when you go to any developing country or you go to any sort of established country with long history and you realize a big part of their culture is contribution. It's about giving something back and participating. In Australia, you go, oh, not my problem, mate. Not my job, mate. I don't have to do that.
I'm enough just as I am.
I'm enough as and again, I bring it back to chicken in the noodle aisle or the shopping trolley. Oh, that's beneath me. Oh, I won't do that. And then one more thing for those of you who bang on about migrants all the time.
Playing along at home, yep.
No Australian wants this job at 7-Eleven, do you? Very few Australians will take that toilet job. But boy, would you be mad if you couldn't go to 7-Eleven because it was unstaffed.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like Australians go, I deserve $100,000 minimum salary. I deserve, you know, to have this fancy house with a 100-inch TV and a brand new car every 3 years and be able to go overseas twice a year, wherever I want to go and have have all this money. But you don't contribute and you also don't give back. And I don't mean charity. I mean contribute in your community. Yeah. You just take. That's Australians. Give me more. Me. That's Aussies.
So can I public service? Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. But can I get myself into trouble here?
Okay.
You are not enough just as you are. I don't give a fuck how many influencers and how many like rights people and whatever said you're perfect just the way, male or female, I don't care. You are not enough just as you are. No one is enough just by existing. Living takes work. You are going to have to put out, and I don't mean sexually, although obviously in an intimate relationship, yes. I mean upkeep, I mean cleaning, I mean earning, I mean investing time and paying attention. No one is so damn pretty. No one is so damn muscular and smart, and no one is so damn rich that they are enough just as they are. That's a myth. It's a lie. It's a toxic lie. You have to, if you want to have anything good in life, I don't care what it is, but relationships with other human beings, especially, you are going to have to work. And if you have this idea in your head, and unfortunately, it is largely women that have it, although some men do as well, but largely women who have been infected by feminism get told, girl, you're enough just as you are. You just showing up should be enough for that man. Hell no. No. That might be enough to sustain a first date, maybe a second, maybe a third date. It is not enough to sustain a marriage, to sustain a life together. Living takes work. And if you're not willing to do the work, get out of the dating pool until you are.
I'll give you an example. I had someone message me 2 days ago just saying, how are you going traveling with your partner? For me, it's we always fight. All we do is fight when we travel. And I'm like, well, why are you with this person? Like, fighting isn't normal. Like, I'm not saying that you can't have a fight, but G and I have been together almost 2 years. We've never even so much as like squabbled. Do you know why? Because we respect each other. Not to say that we won't have a fight one day. I'm not saying we're perfect. Far from it. What I'm saying is that there's a level of trust. There's a level of consideration and care. And like, there's moments when I'm a raging bitch. Like, I'm tired, I'm grumpy. Ask G what I'm like when I'm hungry. Like, I'm horrible. But you know, I never take it out on him. I take it out on inanimate objects, like my laptop and my phone gets screamed at a lot. But you know, I'm being silly. But you know what I mean? Like, there's a level of consideration for the person that you're with. And I asked this person that asked me on Instagram, I said, what do you mean? What do you fight about? They're like, oh, you know, like they always want to go here and I want to go there and they won't do this and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, so basically you're dating someone that you have nothing in common with. Like, for example, today we did the Team Labs thing, right? Like the beautiful light installation.
The light show, yeah.
2 seconds later, we went to the Kyoto Railway Museum, which is full of locomotives and old Shinkansen, right? Like, not exactly my personal preference.
Sure, yeah.
He loved it, and I was happy to do that for him. And like, you know, I'm not just talking about relationships, but they're reciprocal. What you give, you and so on and so forth. And that's just what you need to think about in life in general, not just relationships, in all relationships, and actually in a community basis. What are you offering? What are you bringing to the table? You don't have to be perfect. No one's asking you to be that. No one's saying that you, you know, that who you are is not enough. What I'm saying is your raw version, the raw version of you, the raw clay, if you will, requires work and it requires considerable effort. And as you build that up, guess what? You raise yourself, and what you receive in return is even better. But if you're someone that puts in the bare minimum, doesn't care, doesn't try, you are going to be that person that thrives on being a victim. And so it makes sense that you want to have NDIS. It makes sense that you want to have an ADHD diagnosis and that you want to be 1/16th Aboriginal and that, you know, you are a victim and you need they, them pronouns. Like, you think about the victim Olympics that have really unfolded the last, 10 years.
Yeah.
I call it the patch. Like, you guys have heard me call this like the Scouts patch, right? And as years go on, you've got to collect them all. It's a bit like Pokemon. You get to a point where I'm like, okay, so you've got this full sash and you're still miserable. You're still unhappy. You still haven't achieved anything. This whole sash, this victimhood thing, it's taking you personally backwards because it's not stopping anyone else. It's not stopping the young entrepreneur who's like, I'm 15 years old. I'm going to try something new. I'm going to learn something new. It's not stopping the 60-year-old retiree who's like, you know what? I'm not done yet. I've got more things I want to do. That victim sash only hurts the person wearing it. And yet they think that elevates them, that brings them status. It's embarrassing.
Okay. Can I you know how I tell you off for like having a go at our audience and like making enemies and pissing people off? Can I get a hall pass, please, today? Can I? I'm drunk. That's my excuse. I'm drunk. Can I absolutely rip somebody?
Do it.
Please?
Do it.
Okay.
Can I join in?
Yeah. We have this comment here from Territory AU. Wait till you go through menopause, then rediscuss. Listen, I am sick and tired of hearing people who never treated their husband or their wife well tell people who are treating their husband or wife well, wait till you go through XYZ. Now, my example is this. You've all seen this video. This is a young woman who waits by the garage to greet her husband every single day when he comes home from work. Now, this is a security camera footage. Someone has edited it together, probably them, and hang on, it's stopped. Let me restart it. And they've put it together, and she's out there waiting for him to park in the garage in, you know, various forms of clothing, perfectly normal clothing, but to be able to give him a big hug and say, welcome home from work. Now, this came out, as soon as I saw this comment, I went and I Googled this and I found it instantly. This came out, and the amount of hate that this young woman received from other women saying, oh, wait till you've got kids. Wait till you've been married for 10 years. Wait till you hit menopause. Listen, bitch, you never did that for your man, even when you were young, even before you had kids, even before menopause. How dare you pour your bitter poison onto young women who have figured it the fuck out? If I treat my man well, I will have a better life. How dare you pour your bitterness into their relationship just because you never had the courage to make yourself vulnerable the way that she is in her relationship. This pisses me off more than you can possibly imagine, because this is personal for me. Do not poison other people's relationships with your bitterness. They are happy. They're doing what you weren't willing to do. Don't sit there and say, oh, you just wait. No, you never did that. You were never that person. You don't get to comment. You don't get to pour your bitterness into their happiness. End of story.
Dude, I am no longer spicy, Carlz. Can I just say, you took the mantle 100%. Well done. Good work.
If you can't tell, this is like this pisses me off at a level that is so deep. You cannot appreciate. This is so personal for me.
Yeah, no, it's personal for me too. Let me explain this to you. Like, as a woman, right? As a 100% biological woman, I was single for 12 years before I met Gareth. And I have got plenty of single friends. So when people say, oh, Carly, you don't know what the dating scene's like. Oh, I fucking do. Let me tell you. I know well and truly. And people are like, well, how are you single for 12 years? Well, because I was fussy. I knew what I wanted. And I was never rude. I'd go on dates and I'd be like, you're lovely. Thank you so much. Not for me. I just knew. I knew what I was looking for, and I was happy to wait, right? And it took me 12 years. Gee, you took too long. But anyway, regardless. I'm joking. But do you know what happened? You guys know I have my tattle life haters, right? My trolls, people who don't like me. And they don't like who I am. They don't like what I stand for. They don't like my opinions. And that's fine. I totally respect that there's people out there that don't like me. I don't need to be your cup of tea. But it's a whole other thing to say, I really dislike Carly so much that I actually want to try and tarnish her relationship. I want to get in there and meddle with her relationship. Men don't do that. Women do that. Women see another woman happy and they think, how can I sabotage her? And I've told this story before, but since we're on the topic. So G and I had been together, not long. And it was like the first time I showed, not his face, but I showed him on social media. And straight away, Tattle Life couldn't help themselves. Who is he? Where does he work? What does he look like? They wanted his DNA sample, right? Women do this. Toxic women do this. Feminist women do this. Not women who are in happy, healthy, stable relationships. They don't do this, right? It's women who are toxic themselves. That's the kind of behavior this is, because it's actually stalking. When you boil it all down, this is fucking stalking, right?
Yeah.
So anyway, as they do, they screenshot everything and they try and put all the clues together. I'll give them that. They're clever, right? They figure it out. Anyway, somehow they figured out where G worked and they took it upon themselves to send him a care parcel, right? In that parcel was a congratulations, you've just made a baby card. And in there was condoms and baby pacifiers, right? In this package, unhinged package.
That's not creepy.
Sent to his work, right? Sent to his work. And you think about the level of psychotic behavior that is. You had to go and buy the card. You had to write on the card. You had to buy the baby pacifiers and buy the condoms and then go to Australia Post and send that parcel. What, an hour's kind of moment? That whole
They're committed.
hour.
Your trolls are I'll give them that. They are committed.
But you think about this, right? Think about that in the level of craziness you have to be at to spend an hour doing that to try and antagonize a woman's boyfriend that you don't like. You might have never met this woman. You certainly never met her boyfriend, but you need to take it upon yourself to try and sabotage her relationship. What does that tell you? These women are toxic. And I'm sorry, I am pro women in the workplace. I'm pro women being CEOs. I'm pro women being fucking smart and taking over the world. I'm all about that. But the fact that you have women saying men need to do more this and men aren't like this, and you have women doing that shit, are you like, just take 5 minutes of your time and go and look at how women behave in gossip columns, in Tattle Life, on Reddit forums, and then tell me that feminism is a good thing. It's only feminist women that do that. It's only a miserable Clementine Ford, Abby Chatfield follower that would take the time to fucking do that. It's evil.
And and then what they do is the very same people that come out and attack any woman that steps outside of the orthodoxy then claims the high ground of being pro-women. I'm a feminist. I'm all about women's empowerment. I want to smash the glass ceiling. And they claim that ground, and then they use that ground to destroy the women that are actually speaking truth to power. They're actually challenging orthodoxies.
Not only that. They want to champion women, but only the women that are compliant, right? I'll give you an example.
Yeah.
I was asked to go on that female.
Sorry, before you give the example, before I lose this, you said the word compliant, and I know what you mean, but can I propose the women that are actually agreeing with what you and I are both furiously agreeing on here? It's not because they're compliant. They've made their own decision. They've exercised their agency, and they've arrived at this conclusion.
You took that the wrong way. I mean compliant to the woke ideology.
Oh, excuse me. I have taken that the wrong way. Okay, yes.
Yeah, so they want women that they're all like women's rights, women should rule the world, women should be the girl bosses, but only the women who agree with us.
Yes. Okay. Sorry, I'm with you now. Sorry, I'm going to blame that on the. You know what? You know what? Before you get back to what you're about to say, we've had complaints. I have said nothing about Tolkien this episode, and Venezuela has not come up. Our audience are drying out. You've not said anything about your masters. People are dying here, Carly. We've got to help them out.
All right. Well, okay. So back on this, I've said Abby Chatfield. Isn't she in the drinking game? I've said her name once.
That'll do.
All right. You think about this, like these kind of women vote, right? And you look at what's going on in America and how crazy some of these leftist progressives are. Like, I mean, the screeching crazy ones, right? Like not your average person. So guys, just in case you take this out of context, I'm never talking about the normies. I'm talking about the extreme ones, right? The people who post prolifically on social media screaming, and you sort of go, do you not have a job? Do you not have any hobbies? Do you have nowhere to be?
Have you done anything productive in your life?
Don't get me wrong. Occasionally I get on my soapbox, right? But my reels that I play for you guys, they take me 4 hours. Okay, they're not quick rants. I edit them, I film them, I put them all together. Yeah. Like that's a lot of effort in my rants. But you look at these people who are just totally unhinged, and all I can think of is, I'm not religious myself, but I think this is an abdication of values. And when you don't have something that you feel anchored to, or something that has serious value in your life, and it could be your family, it could be children, it could be your partner, it could be something that you yourself have really worked hard for if you're a business owner, just something that centers you and makes you go, I appreciate what effort does. I appreciate the fruit of the labor that I put into things, right? Whatever that thing is for you. And I think so few people actually have that. Like, imagine this, the public service in Australia. Do you reckon they're proud of their jobs? Do you reckon they go home at night and go, I put in so much effort today. I feel really bolstered by my contribution?
I think there's a class of human being that doesn't need that. They don't actually think one way or the other about whether they contributed in their job. I'm coming to realize, I used to think it was, people who invest and they're proud of what they do, and people who are not proud of what. No. There's a whole class of people. It never crosses their mind.
It doesn't. And these are also the people who expect the government to do things for them. Like, you know how I talked ages ago? I'm sorry, this drink is so sour.
What, as sour as straight Bunnahaven?
No, it's like I'm sucking on an unripe lemon. It's making so I'm not making this face for any other reason. Sorry. My eyes are literally watering. Oh my god. But like I talked about the Nepean Highway. For those who aren't in Melbourne, yes. It's a main thoroughfare towards the city, and there's like shops and car dealerships. Like it's a really busy long stretch of road. It's probably like 20-30 kilometers, I can't remember. Anyway, and I talked about this a few months ago because this is something that gets up my goat. and maybe this is me being a Karen, maybe I'm getting older, but like I said, I grew up in Japan. I know like how I was raised, and I carry that through me. This is not like oh, Carlz is just getting old thing. You know, everything had its place. I grew up in a very tidy home. I had very proud parents, you know, and so that's kind of where I come from. And I look at the Nepean Highway, and all the gutters the whole way along are full of dirt, and now couch grass that's grown into it.
And trees now.
And trees. You know, I shared the trees, right?
Yeah.
And this is not like 2 weeks of not looking after it. This is years of not looking after it. Why? Because it's not my job, mate. Now, I totally understand. Firstly, just to clarify, I totally understand in Australia, it's not that simple. We're not allowed to just go out there and like do like a little working bee. Like there's no way we would be allowed to do that. And this is my problem, right?
Yeah.
When you take away that possibility from your civilians, your average Joes, and say, nope, that's too unsafe for you. You can't do that. We better do it because we understand this better. Then it never gets done. Yeah. Why?
Yeah, correct.
Because in someone's mind, someone in that bureaucracy, it's insignificant. It's not a problem to them. You know, oh, some weeds on the highway. What's that to us? And I gave this analogy a few weeks ago when I showed you guys the actual Christmas tree coming out of the pavement. Now, as I said, when I showed you guys
for those that missed that episode, someone had put baubles on it. It was big enough that someone came along and put Christmas baubles on it. She's not just calling it a Christmas tree. Someone else made it a Christmas tree. Yeah,
and I've seen ones now where people put like lights on them too. So just to give you guys like some like the diameter of the tree was like that. It was big.
Yeah, it was a decent tree.
Established tree, and it's literally coming up through the pavement. So I told you guys when I told the story, if you were in a wheelchair, you couldn't use that part of the footpath, right? And this kind of decay, what happens then, and I gave this analogy, so sorry to repeat myself, but what happens now is that tree grows roots, it gets really big, then the concrete lifts up, and then what do you have? What could have been a 2-second problem from just pulling that little weed out now becomes you need 6 different people around. You need to cordon off that part of the road. You need to re-pour the concrete. That costs like $150,000 because you've got 6 people on standby and you've got to do it at nighttime. And it sounds ridiculous because it is ridiculous. It would have taken seconds if you had done it right then and there. But again, not my job, mate. Not my job, mate.
Yeah, correct.
And this is why the Nepean Highway infuriates me. Because it does flood. Anyone that drives that road knows that water pools near JB Hi-Fi in the Brighton area, and then on the other side down towards Mordialloc. You know, you get if it's a rainy day, it pools over to 2 lanes of traffic. Now, if those gutters all worked, guess what? Probably wouldn't have such a problem with it. But because we're not we, the Australian citizen, aren't allowed to do anything. You've got to let the council do it, 100%. And then the council deems we don't have enough money for that. We've got enough money for rainbow crosswalks or, you know, putting on anti-Australia Day paraphernalia. But, you know, taking care of these little bits of infrastructure, absolutely not. Now, contrast to Japan, you can't find a weed. If I said to you, I'll give you $1 million to find me a weed coming up through the pavement here, you couldn't. Impossible.
Oh, look, for $1 million, I'd get down under the railway underpasses. I reckon I'd find one there, but I would have to go properly looking.
So, you know, you guys know I'm writing my book at the moment, and I'm going to contrast it to Japan because you need something to sort of to anchor it to. And there's just all these things. Now, I'm not I'm not saying Japan's perfect. I'm sure Japan has its own problems. All I'm saying is in contrast to Australia, and a country that right now is just tearing apart at the seams because 2 sides of the culture can't get along. I'm like, it's ludicrous to me. It does make no sense. So now back to the Nepean, just so I can finish this comment. If nothing happens in 2 years, 3 years time, it's now going to be a major infrastructure project to take care of that because it's been left alone for so long.
We're going to need like a suburban rail link type of project for Christmas tree removal on the footpath of the Nepean Highway. Like it's going to be just as big, 9 months of like roadworks and signage, about 18 minutes of work, but about 9 months of like the roadworks signs being there 40 kilometers an hour, beware, people working, all that stuff. Yeah, it's so ridiculous. You know, there's that old saying. I think this world would be infinitely better if every politician and every bureaucrat, every public servant had to read and write an essay on every nursery rhyme and every sort of old wives' tale before they could take up their job. Things like the Little Red Hen, right, would be tremendously valuable. But the simple phrase, a stitch in time saves 9, right? If you fix it when it starts, then you don't have to do a lot more work later. Yeah. And the problem with our bureaucratic system, and this is what my next book is about system. System is a process. Processes take time. By definition, the minute you create a system to fix something, by definition, by destiny, you are saying they're going to be behind the 8 ball. They're not going to be acting in real time when that thing needs to be done. There's a system. There's a process. It has to be fed in. You are creating the delay, which means that a stitch in time is never given. And you're always having to give 9 later on. You're always having to play catch up and do the bigger job later. And this is inherent to how government operates. System is toxic. System is a parasite. That's what the book is about. It consumes whatever you attach it to: education system, healthcare system, justice system. They're all about system. They're not about the other thing. They're all system. The minute you have a local road maintenance system, instantly, months of delay, all kinds of problems going unrectified at the time, needing to be addressed in much bigger ways later on. And then the cost comes in, budget cuts, we can't do that, blah, blah, blah. And the decay sets in. This issue of system is honestly, I think it's the key. I think it's the key to undoing this Gordian knot of government. We have to get away from system. This is why all of these things are happening.
I think when you say system, I think systems at an individual level are really helpful, like a bit of routine. But when you talk about this big sort of bureaucratic system where you've got 6 different people who have to sit around a table and try and make these key decisions, it's ridiculous. And you have a look at, just infrastructure in our country. Everything takes so long. And to bring it back to what I was talking about when we started, Japan, like 20 years after the atomic bomb had invented the Shinkansen. Like, I just let that sit for a second. Just think about that. This country lost World War II, obviously, and they had I know people know this, but also just to really paint the picture for you, it was the first time a nuclear weapon had ever been used, and it happened in Japan twice. Right?
Twice.
Hiroshima was completely flattened. Nagasaki, tens of thousands of people died, not including those who also died in the war. And 20 years later, they had the Shinkansen, the bullet train. Now, contrast that to Australia. I graduated uni 2006. It's now 2026. In that time, we have built a couple of infrastructure projects. We built that stupid Ferris wheel in Docklands that broke when we had a heat wave and they had to rebuild it. In that time, in my 20 years, right, my working life, we built, what did we build? One freeway, and it was 4 years over budget. And it's $6 billion over budget.
Carly, you're forgetting. We built pronouns. Lots of them. So many pronouns. I mean,
we imported those from America. We didn't build those. No, seriously though. Seriously. Think about this. You guys in the chat help me out because I may have lost something. What have we built in 20 years in Australia? Serious question. What have we built? Because people will talk about the Olympics. The Olympics was 2000, right? So from 2006 to 2026, what have we built? What have we achieved in Australia in that time? And the reason I bring this up is look what hard times does, right? Australians have only known comfort, have only known privilege. They'll tell you otherwise. Obviously, Australians, it's so terrible. But after the atomic bomb in Japan, they didn't just rebuild They built the fucking bullet train.
Yeah.
That's what people who have ambition, who have a culture centered around community and contribution are able to achieve. I'm still trying to figure out what have we done in Australia in 20 years. I can't think of anything.
Okay. So actually there's multiple comments that I think independently went for the desal plant, the Melbourne's desalination plant. And I bring this up, the one we don't use.
The desal plant that we have in case of a drought, and yet we have been told because we're entering a drought, we need to go back on water restrictions. What the fuck do we build a desal plant for?
Yeah, that one, that's awkward, but yes, true. Now, can I just say, the reason I wanted to bring this up and put these comments on the screen, that desalination plant is what launched me as Topher. My very first ever video in 2009, pushing 17 years ago now, was about the desalination plant down in Wonthaggi, and the fact that it was my view, and it still is my view, that we should instead have built a dam on the Mitchell River down in Gippsland. And in fact, what?
Is that, sorry, not to be rude, is that it? Is that the only thing we built in this country? Legit, is that the only thing that anyone can think of?
No. We built a rail tunnel. We have built an NBN that's slower than pretty much any other country we care about in the world at 5 times the price, but never mind, we built it. We have talked about a Western Sydney airport a lot. We've talked about that a lot. Like, we've had so many conversations. I'm sure that counts for something. The Westgate Tunnel. Let's hang our hat on that. Nobody's using it.
One they had to shut down on the first hot day because all the sprinklers turned on.
Yeah, because the fire system turned on because it thought 42 degrees of weather was a fire. Yeah, look, let's not get into the details. We built it. The question was, what have we built? We've built an enormous national debt. We've built an entire generation of resentful people with blue hair and septum piercings who think that everything is their parents' fault. And we've built the Westgate Bridge Tunnel, Western Tunnel, I don't know what it's called, the tunnel that nobody uses, and a metro. So look, Carly, I think you're wrong. I proved you wrong. Take that.
That's really fucking sad.
Isn't it? Isn't it?
Guys in the chat, tell me, like, do you hear that and just go, fuck? Do you know what I mean? Like, what is Australia contributing? And you know, for all the shit that people throw at Elon Musk in that 20 years, by the way, has built Tesla and Starlink and Starship. What's it called? SpaceX. Sorry, SpaceX.
Yeah, SpaceX. Yeah.
And just to reiterate you for all the dorks that are in the chat, they were able to catch a booster out of the sky in fucking chopsticks. Elon Musk did that as a private citizen.
Okay, so barring landing on Mars, which hasn't happened yet, that is the closest thing that I will ever experience to watching man land on the moon for the first time, right? Yeah. Watching that thing come down from whatever it was, 100 kilometers, 200 kilometers up in the sky and getting caught on a set of chopsticks is black magic. That cannot be real. And yet I absolutely agree that it is. Holy crap. That is amazing.
We watched that live, and like I don't think people who aren't space nerds understand the gravity of that, like, pun intended. This thing's like what is it, like 10 skyscrapers tall? It's monstrous.
Yeah.
It's hotter than hell. It's just come back into our atmosphere, and we were able to literally catch it out of the air. Like, that's what one person has been able to build because he's a private citizen and he lives in a country where they value entrepreneurship. Do you know what we value in this country?
Okay, I love Elon Musk a lot more than most people, most Australians. Most Australians hate him. I love Elon Musk, but it's not just him. What he's done.
He's the ideas man.
Okay. Oh, no, ultimately, what he's done, let's be really specific. Allow me to geek out for a minute because economics matters. He has organized the energy that has resulted in that. And that deserves respect. I don't say that to denigrate his role. Energy, and so there's two inputs into any business. If you look at it at sort of an esoteric level, there is energy and organization of energy. Chaotic energy has no value. It's a lightning strike. It's a hurricane. It's, it destroys rather than building. And so a business is energy inputs in various forms, electricity and machinery, but yes, human capital and ideas, business methods and accounting.
Can I pause you on that 2 seconds? Sorry.
Okay, yes.
I
will, yeah.
Just this comment here, because he's got shit tons of money. How did he get the shit tons of money?
Yeah.
How?
Okay. So let me segue into that at the end of this, because that'll segue nicely off the end of what I'm saying now. Okay, so business is two things, energy and organization. And the mistake we make in popular culture is we overemphasize the value of the energy and we underemphasize the value of the organization, the focusing, the directing of that energy into a singular cause. We think that unions matter and minimum wage matters and blah, 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 because the people are doing the work. They're the ones doing the work. No, the organization of energy is what makes the difference between a nuclear bomb and a nuclear power plant. Okay, between a lightning strike and a 3-phase power supply. It's the organization of the energy that creates the value. Elon Musk, people rightly point, Elon Musk hasn't done shit. You're right. You're right. He didn't design or build a single rocket. But he organized the energy. He organized the people that know how to build a rocket. He had the capital to pay them, to corral them, to direct their efforts into a singular direction. And culturally, we underemphasize, we underestimate the value of the organization. Now, to the fact that he's a squillionaire and people are really jealous, he might become the world's first trillionaire in due course. I hope he does. I think that'd be cool for him. Listen, money is the most democratic thing on earth. And if you're upset with me saying that, you need to listen doubly, because what I'm about to say, for those of you that are like, yeah, well, obviously, okay, what I'm about to say is not going to blow your mind. For those of you that are like, how dare he? Right, listen, because this will change your life. Money, every time you spend money, you are voting with your money. Every time you withhold money, you are voting with your money. It's a democracy. It's a massive democracy. You are choosing who to vote for, who to reward. It is a conversation that is ongoing and never ending and complex and multifaceted. You are telling people, hey, I really appreciate that. People lie with their words all the time. We say, hey, yeah, that was really good. Oh, that was fucking shit. We lie with our words all the time, but we never lie with our money. When we talk to you in money, we tell the truth every single damn time about what we value, about what we don't, about what's important, about what's not. You want to say something, and then I'm going to come back to this.
Just this, like, I'm just reading some of the chat, like they're going really fast because for those who don't know, we have 3 different streams of chat all coming into one. So it's really hard to keep up with everyone's comments. But comments like this, oh, you need to look into Elon before sucking his dick. Why can't you be happy for anyone? Why is it such a fucking Australian ingrained habit to shit on people? Oh, nah, he couldn't have done that because he's good. He couldn't have done it because he's smart. Nah, you got to look into him. He's a piece of shit. Why the fuck do you guys like this? Like you got angry before.
Right.
This one boils my fucking blood.
Let's shit on all of our viewers.
As fucking Vegemite. This tall poppy syndrome. You guys can't be fucking happy for anyone that does anything in our country. Oh, it's always got to be nefarious. It's always got to be someone else did something. No, it wasn't just them. Why are you all such fucking haters? Why? You know why? Because they show you how short you are falling of your own potential. That is why you hate it. You hate seeing people doing well. You hate seeing people who are successful. Adrian Portelli, another example. You'll all sit there in the chat telling me he's a scamming piece of shit. You're just jealous because you can't do it yourself, because you won't get off your fucking ass. You know why he's successful? Because every day he gets up and does the same fucking thing. Every day he's getting punched in the fucking dick. Something that you won't do. You'll sit there and whinge about it. Or someone said a hurty word to me on the internet. Oh, I can't do that, Carly. You don't understand. I don't have any fucking money. You've always got money for your big screen TV. You got money for your brand new car payment. You got money for your fucking vapes. Don't have money for that, Carly. It's expensive. Be nice to me. I hate this part of our culture. I fucking hate it. And I think because I didn't grow up here or in Australia, I'm in Japan. I grew up in Japan, surrounded by expats. My neighbors and everyone I knew were either Swiss, German, American. I didn't grow up around this bullshit, fucking stupid Australian tall poppy stuff where you just hate on each other. You can't be fucking happy for anyone that's doing something. It's always got to be some other reason that they achieved that success. What the fuck is wrong with you guys? It's embarrassing. I just said, over 20 years in our country, we have achieved nothing. Do you know why? That attitude. Elon Musk might not be the one sitting there designing the fucking rocket. He built the infrastructure. He had the audacity to start that thing. What have you fucking done? Whinged in your comment section? That's what you guys do. It's embarrassing. As Australians, all we do is shit on success. All we do is cut down other people who are trying. Another example, just to really drive it home. Topher and I are working our fucking guts out to build the Topher Project and the Oddcast. You guys only see us on the internet for 6 hours a week. You have no idea how fucking hard we are both working behind the scenes. Topher's up in Albury behind the camera all fucking day. The two of us are researching stories. I'm not a journalist. I didn't have a journalist degree. I'm learning as I fucking go. I wake up in the morning. The first thing I do is open my laptop. We're already working. I'm still working in Japan on my holiday. I was making thumbnails today. I'm sitting here in Australia, in Kyoto, doing a fucking live stream. And when we make it, when we do really well, when we hit our 1 million subscribers on YouTube, you're the same fucking people who will tell me you guys had it easy. Fuck you. Fuck that part of Australia. Fuck right off. I'm sorry, I'm done.
Carly, I think the reason why I wanted to have you as a podcasting partner is because you're so meek. You're so meek and mild and predictable that I know that you're never going to put anybody offside, and it's safe. You were the safe choice. I went for the safe option when I picked you as a podcasting partner.
Right, though, like just quietly.
No,
when
you're not wrong.
When I'm ranting, I can't read the comments.
Yeah.
But even now, like, you know, I sit there, I was saying to G today, you know, in the back of my mind, G's got his own business as well. For those who don't know, G runs his own business. And, you know, we're in Japan for 2 weeks. This is meant to be our holiday and our break. There's no such thing. You never actually turn off. You never actually stop thinking about it. And even now, like I told you guys, I'm writing a book. I have never been an author. I don't have a journalist degree. I've never done creative writing. I have no business writing a book. I just want to. That's entrepreneurship. That's creativity. In Australia, you don't have a degree to do that. Oh, you can't do that. What business is it of yours? And then you become successful. Oh, she's had it easy. Someone handed that to her.
Oh, yeah. She must have given her a leg up. Can I just say that G-Man has commented saying that he's looking for new accommodation. I think he fears for his safety, and I do not blame him. I think that's fair.
I think he's worried that, like, because there's a couple Aussies staying in the hotel. God help me if they're next door.
If they're watching. All right. So I want to finish my point about money. This is so important, guys. This is life changing if you embrace this, right? Everyone's different. Some of you are going to go, yeah, hey, this makes sense. Some of you are going to go like, yeah, obviously, like I already knew that. And other people are going to be like, no, that cannot possibly be true. That cannot possibly. If you embrace this, it will change your life. This is what changed my life last year. I went from the worst year of my life in 2024 to the best year of my life in 2025. And this is a key part of what changed that. Money is a conversation. It is the ultimate democracy. When someone gives you money in return for something that you've done or are offering to do, as long as you're being honest, you're not lying about your product or service, and you deliver, you make good on your promises, on their purchases, you've made the world a better place. How do you know? Well, because that person said so with their money. See, we have this idea that I want to get rich so that I can do some good. When I'm rich, I'll be able to give money away and do good. No. Wrong idea. If you do it the right way, if you do it with integrity, if you are honest about your business dealings, if you deliver on your promises, then the process of you getting rich is doing good in the world, right? You understand? You don't have to have given the money away yet. Sure, I encourage that. Charity is a wonderful thing. I'm not saying don't do it. But you don't have to have given the money away in order to do good. If people are voluntarily, with full disclosure and complete awareness, and you honor your promises and you do what you said, giving you their money, they're doing that because they think they're better off. And if you deliver on those promises, then they are. Who are you to say that they're wrong? Right? So you've already made the world a better place. So when an Elon Musk comes along and he goes to his shareholders and he says to his shareholders, hey, listen, if I can deliver this many cars and that many robots, I want you to pay me $1 trillion. Is that a deal? And they all look at each other and they go, yeah, that's a deal. Okay? Understand, this isn't Elon Musk being greedy. This isn't Elon Musk hoarding. This isn't Elon Musk taking. In actual fact, when you run the numbers, he's going to get about 5% of the value that he is promising to create. 95% of the value that he's promising to create will go to the shareholders and to the employees and to the customers of his businesses. He's just saying, hey, if I create $20 trillion in value, will you let me keep 5% of it? And the shareholders went, you know what? Yeah, we will.
Yeah.
Good deal. Good deal for everybody, not just a good deal for Elon Musk. Everybody benefits. And when we grasp this, it changes our relationship with money. It changes our relationship with wealthy people in our society. And it completely transforms our ability to engage with the world at large, because we can speak honestly in this language of money. This is the most honest language in the world.
Can I just speak to something as well? Like, I understand that not everyone has access to, substantial networks or, high net worth individuals. But when you're around someone who's entrepreneurial, who's successful, who's, well off, whatever your definition of well off is,
sure,
the energy is different, right? I think a big part of the problem with Australians is that it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. If everyone at your dinner table is thinks the same way you do, then it makes sense why you're all the product for each other. You know, that whole thing of like,
you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with.
So if everyone around you is broke, you're going to be broke. Everyone around me is actually quite successful. I would be the least successful. I would be the least.
So you're dragging the group down. You're lowering the average.
No, I'm smart.
Shame on you.
I'm riding that tailwind, mate. I'm like, the conversation's different too. And people say, oh, it's because of money. Not all rich people. This is a generalization, but most people who are comfortable, most people who have means to do what they want to do, their conversation doesn't center around money. It centers around what they're going to do energetic wise. And I don't mean in the esoteric way. I mean about if I put focus here, if I put effort into here, what will that return? And therefore, how will that make the next thing happen? It's not about, oh, if I get $1,000, I'm going to like hold on to my $1,000 like Scrooge McDuck and be like, woohoo. No, you go, all right, money coming in, money going out. You're watching it and watching where it goes and does it grow? It's like a garden. That's how rich people think about money. But in Australia, we look at anyone with a marginal amount of success and go, oh, you evil rich bastard. And it's like, where do you think jobs come from? Aside from the government, it comes from business. It comes from
government does not create jobs,
right? Like the public service is what I mean. But like people sit here shitting on Adrian Portelli. Like he's a great example, right? And again, I've never met Adrian. I only know him from the internet, right?
Yep. We have nothing. We have, to be clear, we have nothing to gain by speaking well of Adrian Portelli.
Nothing.
Don't know him. He has nothing to do with the podcast. We're quite sure he doesn't watch. He has no reason to watch. This is literally just, hey guys, can we realize that if someone's getting wealthy, they're probably doing something right rather than wrong?
Yeah. Like looking at Adrian, just recently, he had that penthouse that he bought in the city. And he hired a builder who was recommended to him. Are you across this? Have you heard this?
No, this was where the inspector came through. What's his name? Site inspections came through and trashed it.
Yeah, Zahir. So he came through. Now, a lot of people don't like Zahir. A lot of people in the building industry also don't like him. Apparently, Zahir also had a business that didn't do well. But, he's that
happens. I've had businesses that haven't done well. You've had businesses that haven't done well.
I have a company. I'm not shying away from it.
I got $5.5 million worth of investment into a go-kart company that ended up losing $500,000 and never going anywhere. There you go.
Shit happens. Shit happens when you take a risk. And so Adrian hired a builder, and you think about how many people would be required to fit out this incredible penthouse, right? Like people go, rich people stuff. Okay, rich people stuff. He needs someone to build the pool. He needs people to do the electrical. He needs plumbers to do the plumbing. He needs interior designers. He needs, fabricators. He needs all these different levels of skills to help him build his penthouse. How many jobs did he make? How many different people is he paying a paycheck to for him to have this lavish penthouse? He's actually reinvesting in the economy. You don't have to like the guy. You don't have to like that he has a penthouse. He created jobs. All those subbies, everyone on that job. And then, so for those who don't know, site inspections came in and had a look at it.
It was not good.
Yeah, they didn't do the waterproofing properly. They didn't put up the marble properly, like all sorts of horrific things. And it basically all got demolished and they're starting again. So yes, Adrian's got the money to pay for it. But think about that. He's now creating even more jobs. He just paid all these trades and now he's paying for it again.
Okay.
So you hate him because he gets the end product.
Important. This is so important. People look at rich people with a private jet or a big new pool and a renovation on their backyard, $400,000 in his backyard, or whatever it is, the car, the whatever, okay? And they say he should have given that money away. Hang on, he did.
Yeah.
He gave it to the person that made the fucking pool. He gave it to the people that can make a private jet. He gave it to the person that did the thing that he wanted. He gave that money away. But here's the thing. He gave that money away. That money still exists. That money hasn't ceased to exist. It still exists. It's in someone else's hands now. But he gave it in return for a landscaping and pool job that's worth $400,000. So can you see how $400,000 came out of thin air, right? Mm-hmm. He had $400,000 in his bank. Now other people have $400,000 in their bank accounts collectively, and he's got a $400,000 landscape and pool job on his backyard. Can you see how the value of the world went up? Now, understand this, and this is going to break some people's brains. If you give away $400,000, the value of the world does not go up in that transaction. I'm going to say something really challenging for a lot of people. Business is more virtuous than charity, because charity is a zero-sum transaction. I lose $400,000, you gain $400,000. Business is an additive transaction. I give you $400,000 in cash and I get back $400,000 in pool and landscaping that didn't exist before we did this transaction, and the value of the world went up. I'm a huge advocate for charity. I hate welfare. I'm a huge advocate for charity, but understand charity is the last resort for where business has failed, because business is more moral than charity. Chew on that.
Yeah, I agree with you. And I wish more people could see that this is a zero-sum game shitting on people. I'm not saying you have to like any of these successful people. You don't have to like me and Topher. You don't have to like Adrian Portelli. You don't have to like Elon Musk. I'm not trying to convince you of their personality.
Sure.
All I'm saying is that people who are achieving success are actually helping build either the GDP of the country, in Elon Musk's case, or their local community, in mine and Topher's case. Like another example, Topher and I are currently doing the birthday dinner, right?
Yeah.
The birthday celebration.
We should have mentioned that. The tickets are about 75% gone. We should have mentioned that earlier. Thank you, Carly.
So, we've got our first birthday. Think about this. Topher and I sat down over a year ago and said, well, I said to you, actually, it was my idea. Mine.
I'm a victim. I'm a victim in all of this, everybody. I'm the victim.
The only reason I say that is because people on Topher's channel are like, oh, this girl, you need to get her off your podcast. I'm like, his podcast? Exclusive.
and by the way, I said to you, because this is just to buttress the fact, you're actually doing the heavy lifting in terms of the topics. You've got the laptop. You're getting all the screens up that we see during the Wednesday Night Live. Not so much on this one. This one's a bit more sort of equal. But on the Wednesday, you are doing the heavy lifting. And I want the public to know that, because there are still people that think this is my podcast and I've got you on. No, this is our podcast. But actually, if you wanted to get into the nitty gritty, if we were having a divorce and they were trying to see who brought the most value, you're the one sitting down and actually doing more work on the Wednesday podcast than what I do. And I would like the public to know that. So there you go.
And I'm also coming to you guys from my bloody holiday. But,
Correct.
Jokes aside, this podcast was started out of thin air. It just so happened that we both had laptops and we both had microphones and cameras. And then from there, like, the biggest thing is time. Like, for those who don't know, Topher drives down from Albury to Sunbury to Melbourne every Wednesday.
9 fucking hours on the road. Because of where she lives in Melbourne, it's a 4.5-hour trip one way.
So when people are like, oh, how hard is it? So that's Topher's investment. 9 hours every single Wednesday. I think you've missed 2, right?
Yeah, and something like that. And these ones aren't my fault. These 2, today and next week, not my fault.
I'm still doing the podcast, bro.
But you can't count them again. The 9 hours still count. It's not my fault that I'm not driving down. It's because you left.
Okay. But my point is, this is a thing that started out of thin air, and just time. That's it, right? And then over time, thanks to all of you guys who buy us super chats, and thank you for the super chats, or who buy us Ko-fi. Is that right? Am I pointing at it?
Yeah. Well done. Yep, that's it. Right there.
Those donations help us update the gear and build infrastructure. And now we're doing the first birthday. If everyone buys a ticket, that's all going to the hotel where we're having the podcast. That's business for them. That's more employment for their staff. We are keeping the economy going, all because we sat down together and went, we're just starting this thing out of thin air. Like, this is success on a very, very small scale. Like, when you think about other people podcasting, we're like itty little fish. We're plankton, if you will.
Yeah.
But it started out of thin air. It was just an idea. Right? And I guarantee you in 3 years' time, I mean, we've already had some of it. Oh, you guys have changed.
Oh, yeah. We've changed so much.
But in 3 years' time, when we're doing well and we're getting big guests on and all that sort of stuff, people go,
when you're getting on a small private jet to fly up to Albury to come to my studio in Albury so I don't have to travel anymore, at that point, yes, people are going to have a problem with us.
But and this is the thing that people don't realize. Like, it's like Joe Rogan. He's a better example. Joe Rogan, what did he get from Spotify? It was like $100 million.
200 million US, I think.
Some extraordinary amount of money. Like, the man is got fuck you money, that's for sure. But those who don't know, like, it's easy to hate Joe Rogan today because he has the big guests on. Like, I think last week he had Ben Affleck and Matt Damon, and he's had Elon Musk. And
look, one day he'll have Topher Field on. I mean, like, he can only dream. He can dream, right?
Bro.
I know. But he will. One day, I promise you, he will.
I think he'll have a Carlz J Söda before he has a Topher Field.
Oh, fuck off.
Can you imagine? Topher would be so.
If you and I were guests on the same episode, we would be punching each other to get to see who speaks first, so we can claim we were the first guest of the two of us.
Obviously, Joe would love me. Like, clearly.
No, I will sit on you. And I realize as I lose weight, that threat is losing power, but I'm still well over 110 kilograms. That is still a threat. I will sit on you.
Okay. No, but you know, people shit on Joe Rogan because of his success today. But people forget, I think his podcast's 14, 15 years old. And he started in like
thousands of episodes. Thousands
of episodes, and they all go for like 2-3 hours. Like, take away the money for a second. Just think, every single one of you watching this right now, there's 1,135 of you. Just think, is there anything that you could personally do for 12 hours a week, unpaid, for 15 years, and then you see the success? How many of you actually do that?
Yeah. So Jimmy Carr is great on this. He's got a great bit that he does where he says, everyone wants to be me. Everyone wants to have what I have, but no one wants to do what I've done and to walk the road that I walked in order to get to where I am. And that's the difference. People like you and I, Carlz, and I'm sure there are people in our audience that are the same. I'm not trying to like say, oh, we're this and you're that. But the separation is, are you willing to pay the price with no guarantee that you'll get the reward, right?
Yeah.
This is the thing. If you knew, if God came and spoke to you and said, listen, the next 20 years are going to suck, but if you play your cards right and you just stick with it and be faithful, you'll be a billionaire, right? Then you go, okay, well, all right, God, I'll take you at your word. And you suck for the next 20 years and you just accept it. No. What if there's no guarantee? What if God didn't come down and tell you that you're going to have that happy ending? No pun intended. What if you have to do all of the suck with absolutely zero guarantee that there's a payoff waiting for you at the end? And I'm 17 years in. Stop. I'm 17 years in. Now, along the way, I crowdfunded for one of my water projects out of the 5 key water projects that I did. I still lost money on the project because I spent more than I raised, but nevertheless, that helped to cover some of the costs. All the costs besides that were covered by me. I crowdfunded for the 50 to 1 project, which was a climate change project in about 2013 must have been. I didn't crowdfund enough, and so it still cost me money out of my pocket, but I covered some of the costs out of that. And I crowdfunded for Battleground Melbourne. And guess what? I ran over budget on Battleground Melbourne as well, and it cost me money out of my pocket. So even for the projects that I have crowdfunded and had other people pay me money to do, I've lost money for 15 years until last year. When I went pro, I went full time. I changed completely how I was doing what I was doing. And listen, that was a process in itself, because I have my ideas about how I want to do what I do. I want to do a small number of really high value projects. I want to do 3 videos a year that are like really deeply researched and thorough and blah, blah, blah. That's not what the internet wants from me. The internet wants me to publish 3 or 4 videos a day that are just churned out as fast as I possibly can. And I finally had to swallow my pride and say, okay, internet, I will give you the thing that you're telling me that you want. And I did that at the start of last year after 15 years of losing money. And thanks to you guys, and I'm genuinely grateful, the buy me a coffee money, the buying the merch, the buying the books, I can now pay my bills. And that's an amazing, in Australia, for a YouTube content creator to be able to pay their bills, that's amazing. Thank you. And I mean that. Thank you. Like, honestly, it is the most incredible sense of privilege, the most incredible honor that I have, that a couple of times a day my phone buzzes and someone's bought me a coffee, or someone's bought one of my t-shirts, or someone's bought one of my books. Like, that's amazing. Thank you. Right. But there was no guarantee I was ever going to get there. And
the
I had
money
to spend
come before the effort.
Well, I had to spend 15 years making content at my expense just to have a chance to be in the game that maybe I would start to make money doing what I do now.
In
the words of Jimmy Carr, like, everyone wants what he's got. He's got the world stage. He can do television specials, Netflix specials. He can do a stadium tour. Everyone wants what he's got. Who's willing to walk the road he walked? That's what changes the world, is the person who's willing to walk that road.
100%. I'll give you guys an example. Obviously I make all of Topher's merch. Well, not, I don't personally make it. I organize it.
You've done all the designs. Yep.
And I do all the important stuff. And I want to do some stuff for me. And I wanted to do something really cool, like some difficult stuff, right? And I went to a factory in China and I sunk in, I think, almost 900 Australian dollars. And I got 3 samples for that. And they're all fucked. They're fucked.
Oh, no. Because I knew that. I knew that you'd ordered them. I knew the cost. I didn't know they were all bad. That sucks. I'm sorry.
Yeah. And it's just like, I was gutted because I wanted them to plan. I wanted to take some cool photos of the merch here. And I opened it and G and I just like, oh. And so like underwhelmed, and that's $900. Yeah, it's down the drain. Like you don't get a refund. I don't get to complain to the manager. I don't get to claim it back. It's like, that's just $900 down the toilet. Like sucks shit. You know what I mean? And that's just what it is. Like entrepreneurship is honestly getting kicked in the face every day. That's not a sob story. I'm going to have to remake the samples, find a different factory, whatever.
Yeah.
But that's just how it is. It's just life.
Carly, I know this amazing Chinese clothing manufacturer. I don't know if you've heard of them, but they do my history hoodies. They're really nice. They're so nice. I don't know if you've ever heard of them. But look, if you ask me really nicely, I'll introduce you to the factory. Sorry, for everyone that's like, what's going on here? Carly's the one that's got all these relationships. She knows exactly who I'm freaking talking about.
Doesn't even know where his factory is.
I don't even know. I don't need to know. Rational ignorance. I need to do more videos. I need to keep researching. I need to keep on top of what's happening in the world today. That's where I need to be. That's my lane. Okay, I just stay there. Carly takes care of so much stuff for me with the merch and everything else. I've got other people. I've got an editor on my team. I've got a social media person on my team. I've got an email person on my team. And I've got a general manager here in Australia. They all take care of their lane so that I can just stay in mine. But Carly, honestly, why didn't you just go to the absolutely freaking awesome supplier that you've got for my merch? You know how good those t-shirts are, how good the hoodies are. Why didn't you use them?
I was trying to do something different, but I took a risk.
It did not pay off.
It did not. So
it
guys,
did not pay off.
Buy me a coffee so I can commiserate. No, but honestly, not to keep talking about it because I'm gonna go get dinner soon and I'm getting hungry. But I think it's great that we have 1,154 people watching, and hopefully they're inspired to do whatever it is that they do and enjoy what they do. But for the most part, and I'm sure you guys see this now that we've pointed out, the average Aussie doesn't try. They don't make effort. And you know this. No. You know this in your workplace. You know who these people are.
Thing is, they think they do. This is why they get so upset. They're like, oh, no, I've done everything. I've gone all in. I was working from 10 o'clock in the morning until 3 o'clock in the afternoon, 3 days a week on this. How dare you tell me that I didn't try? Right. Yeah. And people like you and me, I get up at 6. I'm not asking for sympathy. To be clear, this is the life I've chosen. Okay. I'm happy with my choices. But just for reference, I get up at 6 in the morning. I'm often working until 9 or 10 o'clock at night. I do not begrudge this. And genuinely working, I will intentionally take off 45 minutes at lunchtime to see my kids, and then up to an hour and 15 at dinner time to see my kids again and put them into bed after dinner. And I'm working outside of that. I don't want your sympathy. I'm just saying, listen to me. 12 hours a day, if you really want to get somewhere, 12 hours a day is what you've got to do. This is not special. I'm not special. Carly works her ass off as well. She's working during her holiday in Japan. I'm her boss. Her boss is an asshole. Okay. This is what it takes. This is what it takes.
Just to drive that point home, because this is funny. You literally messaged me as we were on our way to Team Lab, which is the light thing that I showed you guys at the Open. And you're like, I need a thumbnail in 90 minutes. I'm like, bro.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
And you've got like a 2-hour Team Labs booking. And I'm like, no, screw you. It's Australia Day. It's a public holiday in Australia. You're in Japan. You're about to go to an event that you've booked. No, screw you. I need that thumbnail. Like,
And so,
honestly, I'm an asshole.
Literally what I did, I've got Canva on my phone and I sat and I made your thumbnail on my fucking phone. But like, I'm laughing because like, honestly, even if it wasn't Topher and I was doing this for myself, that is what it takes. And I think
that's what it takes.
I think people fail to understand. They're like, oh, don't worry about it. We'll do it next time. It's like, no, that's the difference.
No, you will fail. You will be a nobody. No one will remember your name if that's how you approach it. This is the thing.
Sorry.
I demand incredibly high standards from my people. I worked today. Today was a public holiday for a lot of people. It was not a public holiday for me. I get 2 public holidays a year, Christmas Day and Easter Sunday. That's it. Those are the only 2 public holidays I will actually take off. And I set an incredibly high standard for myself, and therefore an incredibly high standard for everyone that works for me or with me, even the subcontractors, right? The subcontractors that I'm still working with are the ones who were willing to go above and beyond. I'm an asshole when it comes to business, when it comes to delivering a result. So I'm on the phone, or no, actually I was text messaging with one of my suppliers because I've got the opportunity for a really, really amazing interview in person in Sydney in a week and a half's time. That'll be published in less than 2 weeks' time. It's actually really freaking cool. A guy from America is in Australia. Awesome. And someone that I've wanted to interview for a long time, and I've seized the opportunity. I need crew to film that, right? It's going to be in person. We're not going to be online. We're going to be sitting face to face talking to each other. And I can't get the guy I normally get in Sydney. So I ring my guy in Melbourne. I'm like, you're going to be on a plane at 5 o'clock in the morning. I don't care. I don't care. Don't give me a sob story about how long it takes you to get to the airport. There is a 5 o'clock aeroplane with your name on it. You will get to Sydney. You will get to the location and you will have a smile on your face while you set up lights and cameras and audio and you record 2 hours worth of interview, and then you can go. You can be as miserable as you want on the flight home. You will give me the result. This is what it takes. If you want to succeed in life, if you want to be somebody, if you want to make a difference. Otherwise, hey, the world will never remember your name. And that's okay. If you're happy with that, if that's what you want to be, go for it. Be my guest. If you want to make a difference, if you want to be somebody, if you want to actually influence the way that people think and have an impact on our culture and on our future, then I'm sorry, but 9 to 5 doesn't cut it.
No, it doesn't. And look, you know, there's always worker bees. There's people who don't want that life, and that's so fine. I don't expect everyone to be an entrepreneur by any stretch. And I understand it's not for everyone. My point is that in this country, when there are people who are willing to go that extra mile, who are willing to work hard, they get dumped on by the people who don't want to do it. You know, like old mates whose comment I brought up before I went on my epic rant. Like any content from someone who's somewhat successful is like there's litterings of that kind of commentary in their social feeds because people don't like it. People don't like seeing success in this country. And no one's asking you to be successful. No one's demanding you to be successful. But when other people take it on their own violation to go off and do something they're passionate about and they happen to make money, then get out of the way. You don't get to comment. It's that simple. That's something that's I'm talking to you.
Hey, succeed or don't. Like, do you understand? It's no skin off my nose if you never succeed. It doesn't hurt me. It only hurts you and the people you love. You're not letting me down. You're letting down the people that you love. And when you understand money and when you understand business and when you understand that money is a language and that getting rich is actually doing the world good, so long as you're doing it with integrity and you're delivering on your promises, getting rich is actually doing the world good. It's not that I'm going to get rich and then I'll do the world. No. Getting rich is doing the world good as long as you do it with integrity and keep your promises. And when you understand that, like, it's no skin off my nose if you stay poor. That's fine. But do you understand that you've deprived yourself, your loved ones, and your potential customers, the people that would have done business with you? You have deprived all of those groups of value, of wealth, that they could have had if you got your finger out of your ass and got out of bed and got on with it?
I was trying to point to that comment. I was like, is it that way?
Yeah.
As long as you love what you do, I think that's a misconception. And I say this, right? I'm a self-taught photographer. And so I loved it when I started. It was my hobby. And then I thought, oh, you know, can I make a career out of this? And the reason I bring this up is, you know, when you say you love what you do, there was certainly that initial learning curve where everything's exciting. You can't wait. You're just a thirst for knowledge, and you're watching every YouTube tutorial and you're buying new gear and you're just fully immersed in it. And then you get to the point where you're starting to make money off it and it becomes a business. And less and less of what you actually do day to day is picking up the camera. Most of it is admin, networking. Networking when you're an entrepreneur is one of the biggest things. You have to meet people. You have to secure new business. And then also it's people management. It's doing all of that unsexy stuff. And then it got to the point where, you know, I photograph people. So I'm dealing with vulnerable people. I felt like I was a psychologist by the end of it. And I got to halfway through last year and I looked at G and I went, I hate this. The one thing I love more than anything is photography. And by the time I went all the way back around, I ended up hating it. And so I was like, I have to stop. I don't want to hate what I love. Right. And I already did that with graphic design. So this is the first time since October when I finished my master's that I've actually picked up my camera. And even still, I barely pulled my professional camera out of my bag. I've been taking most of my phone photos on my iPhone.
Yeah.
Because when you love what you do, that only gets you past that initial learning phase. After that, like none of the business stuff is fun. It's not sexy, but it's so that you get that thing at the end. It's like the promise at the end of the rainbow. You know, you have to push through some real shit to get there.
So in the book of Proverbs in the Bible, it says, where your treasure is, there your heart is also. And I really appreciate Mike Rowe. You know Mike Rowe, the television presenter, American dude. He did the show Dirty Jobs, right? Dirty Jobs with Mike Rowe. I love Mike Rowe. I've never met him. I hope to meet him someday. I'd love to interview him. That would be a bucket list interview. Mike Rowe has changed the world with the TV show. Like that's the holy grail. To be like a podcaster or a TV show person or a influencer and actually have an impact. He did this show called Dirty Jobs. And what he did was he glorified people who worked for a living, blue collar people, oftentimes not even with a trade. These weren't people who dropped out of school and went to trade school. These were people who didn't even go to trade school, right? And they ended up running a Portaloo business or being the captain of an Atlantic salmon fishing boat.
I was going to say, deep sea, what's it called? Deep sea catch, or what's that show?
Yeah. There's all those North Sea, whatever it is. Yeah, there's all those. So Mike Rowe did this incredible spectrum. So I remember episodes of, fishing, okay, Portaloos, okay. A dude who would split timber to make shingles. In America, shingle roofing is a big thing. It's not so much here, but shingle, like timber roofing, is a big thing still in America. And there was this dude who had this machine. He lived out in the backwoods of somewhere in the United States, and he made shingles, and he became a millionaire making shingles with his machine. And Mike Rowe made this television show glorifying people who had just found a way to add value, a way to make people's lives better, because that's what economics is. If people are buying from you, they are telling you, you've made my life better. That's literally what it is. You don't buy from someone unless you say, hey, my life is better after this transaction than it would have been without this transaction. If you honestly think that your life is going to get worse, you won't make the transaction. Right? It's like, honestly, we tell the truth with our money. If you make the transaction, it's because you really wanted that thing. Your life is better now than it was before. And so there's people getting rich on all kinds of nonsense, like not nonsense. That's actually completely wrong. On all kinds of different businesses. There's so many things that we need as human beings. We don't realize until kind of it's there in our face. And Mike Rowe made an entire years of television out of just week after week of visiting these people and telling their stories. And it was beautiful. It was really, really awesome.
Even now, some of the most unsexy industries can make a shit ton of money. Like, I know a lot of people, when they think entrepreneurship, you're thinking like some crypto trader or someone who invents something really cool and they sell heaps of it. And like, you know, maybe it's a skincare brand or a clothing brand. But a lot of the people who I know, out of me, who make a lot of money, do things like they run one of those storage businesses, like literally like national storage. How unsexy, how boring. And they're making killing from it.
The second wealthiest person that I know, and when I say I know, as in I have their phone number, and if I called them, they would pick up, right? The second wealthiest person that I know has made their money in storage, right? Like storage facilities where people like me and you who have too much crap for our oversized houses that have 4 bedrooms, even though there's only 3 of us living in the house, like we've got 4 bedrooms for some reason. We still can't fit it all. We put it into storage. The second wealthiest person that I personally know is a storage king, like a storage baron. Like nuts.
Just on that, I want to answer this comment quickly. Channel Master 73. I know because Gareth cannot get an apprentice. He cannot find another
Careful,
mechanic.
Carly. Careful before you reveal what Gareth does.
Oh, everyone knows he does cars.
Okay, yeah, sure. Okay, yeah, but don't go any more detailed than that.
No. But you know, like it's so hard to find people who are enthusiastic. Actually, I'll tell this story. I'm sure G won't mind. He had someone come in for a trial who was lamenting the fact that they hated their job. I can't remember what they did. I think they were driving trucks or something. I can't remember what they did, but something like that. Yeah. Just something monotonous, and you know, they had to be up early, long hours, all that sort of stuff.
The usual,
And they were a qualified mechanic. And so without giving too much of what G does away, he's a specialist. He works in a very niche market. And so he needs someone with finesse, someone who has crazy attention to detail, right? And G works on very expensive cars, so you can't just have random schmo in there. Anyway,
honestly, if I wasn't doing what I do, I would have moved back to Melbourne specifically to work for G. I think what he does is really cool. Yeah, and I really enjoy working with my hands. So if it wasn't for what I do, I would have gone to work for G.
Yeah. It's really hard for him to find people who are enthusiastic, who want to have that level of attention to detail. Anyway, this guy came in for a trial and he was like, oh, it's a bit hard standing on your feet all day, getting your hands dirty all day. Like, this guy's a qualified mechanic. He doesn't not know what the job is. But he was like, oh, I would rather go back to the job I hate than have to work hard. Okay. Bye. Like, that's kind of the attitude. So it's actually really hard to find
and then
work.
And then that same person. Oh, I'm going to piss some people off. That same person is the person who comes out and says, the immigrants took my job. I can't afford to live because the immigrants took my job.
I screenshot that.
Fucking retard.
Screenshot.
Work a fucking day's work. Ugh.
It's true. It is true, though. I think there's this misconception in Australia that you should love your job and it should be relatively easy. And you shouldn't be stressed. No. And that's
work
fine.
is called work for a reason.
No, let me finish. If that's your attitude, and I know this is the attitude to Gen Z, because you see it in their comments all the time, like, oh, we're the first generation that actually has self-care and we understand we don't want to be a cog in the machine and work too hard. That's fine. Because there's a ceiling on you, people. That's fine. You don't have to. You
are no threat anymore.
But guess what is going to be your rude awakening? AI. All of those cushy jobs, all of those office jobs that you get to work from home.
Oh, yeah, that paralegal work that you thought was safe. Oh.
AI is going to eradicate mediocre entry-level positions. You know what it can't do? And this is a funny joke that people keep saying, but think about this. AI can't wash your dishes for you. AI can't do your washing for you yet. It can't clean your house for you yet. It can't unclog your drain yet. It can't clear out your gutters yet. It can't, mow your lawns. So think about this. Entry-level positions, paralegals, copywriting, admin, all that stuff, accounting, bookkeeping, AI, boom, see you later. All of a sudden, those people who don't want to lift a finger, who don't want to work outside, who don't want to be in the elements, who don't want to get their hands dirty, your options are going to dry up. Now, I'm not saying that to be all doom and gloom. I don't want to live in a world where robots do everything.
It's actually a really good thing.
I'm very pro AI. You guys know this. But what I think people fail to think about is you're okay with that now. This is the current attitude, right? In 2026, the current attitude is that we value self-care. We don't overwork. We don't do overtime. Fuck rich people. That's the general attitude of the woke. Okay, that's fine. Guess what? The world moves on. You'll be stuck here. And everyone else who kept working through this period, everyone else who was entrepreneurial, everyone who tried, who put effort in, they'll be light years down the road. And you know who will be begging for help and saying it's not fair? Those people who sat there on their little soapbox and told us all that you shouldn't have to work harder than 38 hours a week, that you should get your 1 hour lunch break, that you shouldn't do overtime, that there shouldn't be any pressure, you shouldn't have to take work home with you, children shouldn't have to do homework, you shouldn't have to feel stressed. Okay, that's fine. No one's saying you shouldn't be stressed. That's okay. Everyone else is choosing willingly to do it. And I guarantee you, as it all comes back around, you will be the first one to say, it's not fair. They didn't get there. They got there by luck. Tall poppy repeats itself.
Listen. I won't be able to hear you as I fire up the engines on my private jet. All you haters that say it was luck, that say it was connections, that say it was whatever, after 17 years of work. So you know how in rap culture, there's this genre of song that's like, oh, screw you guys. You never supported me when I was little and now I'm big. You want to be like my biggest fan, but screw you guys. There's kind of this sort of subculture in rap. There was a song by Eminem was in it. It was a singer that was now you see me standing in the lights, but you never saw my sacrifice. Something. Now I'm the last one standing. I don't remember who wrote the song. That's on a playlist that I have on my phone that I listen to in the car when I'm in the back seat when my dad's driving, and I'm on my way down 4.5 hours down to Melbourne to podcast with Carly, and I'm working on my laptop. I'm listening to this amongst other songs in my headphones, and it never really meant. I liked the tune; it was catchy, but it never meant a lot to me. And then suddenly I was in the middle of this grind because the last year, you've seen my what I do go like this, right? You've seen my following on YouTube. You've seen the number of videos. You've seen all of this go like this. What you can't see is the grind that makes that happen, right? And that's fair. I'm not blaming you. You can't, of course you can't. All you see is what I put on the internet, right? Okay, so fine. But the grind is real. And you know that, okay? And you guys are, if you're one of the 1,161 people watching, you know that that's real, okay? So you're on my side. I'm not having a go at you. But you see the result of the grind, but you don't see the grind. And I've always kind of had a problem with those songs. It's kind of arrogant. It's really, really arrogant to sit there going, oh yeah, now I'm number one. Now you think you know me, blah, 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 all that kind of nonsense. And then this song came on while I'm in the car on the way down to do the podcast on a Wednesday, 4.5 hours one way to go and see Carly for 3 hours of podcasting to get my ass back in the car and do 4.5 hours the other way, working on a laptop, trying to avoid work, motion sickness while I'm emailing and editing and writing new scripts. And this song comes on. Now you see me standing in the lights, but you never saw my sacrifice. There's another line in there. Now I'm the last one standing. And it kind of hit me like, oof, like that's real. That's actually real. Like I'm working on my tour to the US and you're coming with me, Carly. We're doing Battleground Melbourne live in Las Vegas at Freedom Fest in July of this year, right?
Is that confirmed?
And I'm building yeah, it's so close. I got an email from them today. It's as good as confirmed. But technically, the team that has to make the decision haven't handed down the decision yet.
Right.
3 weeks. They told me in 3 weeks the decision will be made. So, you know, I'm going there for 6 weeks in total of speaking, and I'm touring all over the US. You're coming with me with Matt Lawson, Crystal Mitchell to come and do Battleground Melbourne Live in Freedom Fest in Las Vegas just after the 250th anniversary of the US Declaration of Independence. Like this is freaking real. Like this is an amazing moment that I'm trying to put together, that I'm trying to create for us. And I'm sitting there going, in that moment when I stand on that stage and I've got you, Carly, and I've got Matt and I've got Crystal, and we're standing there at Freedom Fest, there's 2,500 people in the audience, and we're in America, in Las Vegas, in what is one of the biggest freedom-oriented, conferences in America. That is going to be a surreal moment. And that is kind of that moment of like, now you see me standing in the lights, but you never saw my sacrifice.
Yeah.
You didn't see the 17 years. You didn't see the loneliness. You didn't see showing up to protest after protest in Melbourne, knowing that I'm a marked man, knowing that my face is known to police, knowing that if they get a hold of me, who knows what comes out of that. Like there's this whole journey that comes there, and I've got so much more sympathy, even for the people that have gone off the rails, like Justin Bieber, Kanye West, these people that go off the rails. I'm like, I've got so much more sympathy for you now.
Yeah.
I've got so much more patience.
Success. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
it's staying sane on this road is actually so much more difficult than I thought it would be.
Yeah, and that's why, if you want the rewards and that epic amount of success, you really have to get forged in the fire because, what is it? Not millionaires. People who win the lottery usually end up broke again, right? Like,
yeah.
In America,
they don't know what to do with it. They don't know what to do. They never made money before. They don't know what to do with money.
It's not only that, they don't value money. Anything that's given to you,
true.
It's much like the money you get from NDIS or the money you get from the government. If you haven't had to earn it, if you haven't had to put blood, sweat, and tears into it, then it burns a hole in your pocket. And you see this all the time. People who win big or win the lottery. I can't stop thinking about this, and I need to end on this because my laptop's about to die and I'm getting hungry. But it was last year or maybe it was the year before. Adrian Portelli, he used to buy the block houses, right? And then do the raffles and whatever.
Yeah.
And whatever you think about the raffles, I don't really care. This story actually was really poignant for me. And it really just cemented an Australian attitude. So it was a raffle. They won. It was a $4 million house. Now, you are under no obligation to keep the house. You could sell it.
Sure.
You own outright a $4 million property. And I think that the house from memory was in Hampton, right? So Hampton is the suburb right next to Brighton. It's not blue chip Brighton, but it's the gentrified area that is going up. So that $4 million home, if you held on to it for a little bit, probably 5 in a couple of years' time, maybe 6. I don't know, right? But just think about that. You out of nowhere, it's yours. Here it is on a silver platter. Now, in that house, in the block house, they had all these different bits and pieces. It was like a wine fridge and, different accessories they had used to, stage it. And Adrian had gone through and they're like, let's pull all this stuff out. We're going to use this for another giveaway. Now, to be clear, that house was owned by Adrian, as were all the elements in the house. He decided to give the house away, right? And he removed a lot of the staging stuff. His prerogative. Now, these people who won the house had the audacity to not only whinge about the fact that the wine fridge wasn't there, to make a huge song and dance about the fact that I think Adrian said it was about $60,000 of random accessories wasn't in the house. They made videos proving that the stuff was missing. So they used the block and then they did the tour of the house. These people won a $4 million home clear in their name. That is Australia for you. That is our attitude. Oh, that's not enough. And all I could think of $60,000 of random shit, just random goodies, right? You just got given a house. What, you couldn't go buy a wine fridge?
So I recently, in the last couple of years, so when we left Melbourne, we left with nothing. We lost our house. We'd lost everything. COVID cost us everything. We have had to rebuild from lower than zero, negative, in the last sort of 3 years since we left Melbourne, right? So I'm not asking for sympathy, but I'm putting that out there as perspective, right? We have worked when I say we, my wife and I have worked our asses off for the last 3 years. And we finally had the privilege of buying a house after only a couple of years. Like that, like you can imagine how hard those years were to be able to generate enough money to have a deposit, to have the serviceability so that banks would look at us and loan us the money. Like freaking hard couple of years. When I say 2024 was the hardest year of my life, that's actually one of the lesser reasons. Like there was a lot going on. So we get the contract, and in the contract of sale, it's missing things like the dishwasher that was very much built in. It's not a removable dishwasher. This is a built-in dishwasher and other kind of things like that. I can understand if you're buying a house and it's been presented to you in that way. And yeah, okay, the house, when we looked at it, was furnished and blah, blah, blah. Okay, fine. But no one's buying the furniture. We know the couch doesn't come with the house unless they tell you up front. The couch does not come with the house. The dishwasher, that's like a built-in dishwasher grouted in with all the weather sealing and the water sealing. Yeah, okay, that probably comes with the house, right? So there's a difference there. The sense of entitlement to sit there and go, I want a house. Like we worked our asses off to buy a house. And yeah, we fought for the dishwasher. I will admit, we went back to the conveyancer and we said, no, hang on. The dishwasher is in this house. That's part of the kitchen. That is like built in. That is not removable. It's built in. We're getting the dishwasher. We fought for the dishwasher and we got it. But to sit there and go, no, we want a couch. You know, we want the staging furniture. How clueless do you have to be? How little exposure have you had to the real world to think that you're entitled to that and to think that fighting for that's going to win you something? Like
this is the other thing too. What you say in the privacy of your own home. You know, oh, I wish we got the wine cooler, whatever. That's fine.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, I wish. That's fine. You can wish what you want.
The effort to go and buy the effort to go and film it and then put it up online and expect that the Australian public would have your sympathy.
All right.
You know? But
I'm out of whiskey.
I must go because my laptop's about to die.
Not yet. I have a funny meme. You can't go. Okay. So when Andrew Hastie says, hey, I'm going to go and lead the Liberal Party and I'm going to reform the Liberal Party. I'm going to save them from mediocrity. This is what went through my mind. I made this meme with my own hand with the help of Imager or whatever their website was. It's what is this, Carly? Tell me what's this picture from?
Look, I thought it was Game of Thrones.
She thought it was Game of Thrones, ladies and gentlemen. And can you believe when I showed this to her, she had the audacity to ask whether it was from Lord of the Rings. This is what I work with day by day. Can you please sympathize with my pain? Anyway, Andrew Hastie.
I don't speak nerd.
Andrew Hastie, you were the chosen one. You were supposed to save the Liberal Party, not destroy it. And yet, here you are. You voted for the hate groups bill, whatever it became. You are not the savior of the Liberal Party. You are the final nail in its coffin. You will win the leadership, and then you will wonder why the party died. It's because of you.
I think it needed to happen. I have zero sympathy.
No sympathy. No sympathy whatsoever. None.
Anyway, friends.
On that happy note, let us finish the show.
I must bid you adieu. I have Japan to go and explore. I have gyoza and ramen to eat. And
make sure you get some okonomiyaki, mostly because it's fun to say. 3, 2, 1, okonomiyaki. It's great. It's really tasty, but it's fun to say. Okonomiyaki. Excellent. Yeah.
Well, we are going literally around the corner from our hotel to eat some gyoza. So
do that. I will see you on Wednesday. You're not going to let me down. We're doing like a remote show, Japan to Melbourne on Wednesday, pre-recorded to go out on Wednesday night as if nothing happened, right?
We will be there.
Excellent. See you there. Hey, everybody, before you go, topherfield.com, go to the shop, get yourself a ticket to the Oddcast birthday party, 21st of February. It's only like 3 weeks away, 4 weeks away. So I don't know, 4 weeks away. It's going to be heaps of fun. There's about 25 tickets left, 30 tickets left, something like that. Get your ticket now. Go to topherfield.com, get your ticket. Otherwise, check the link at kofi.com. Yeah.
You can jump into the Discord chat and chat to other like-minded friends.
That's true.
Yeah, hang out.
But you got to sign up for Kofi. If you want the Discord, you got to sign up for Kofi. That's it. That's the deal.
And look, and all that being said, I know we're both a bit ranty today, but I hope I hope you guys got something out of it. I hope it triggered something in you. Like the tall poppy one just like makes me irate. Like even now, there's a fucking troll in there who's trying to bring up 21.59. Like, ooh, yes, I have acknowledged it thousands of times. I'm very proud of that company.
Can I just say,
cry me?
No, fuck that guy. Can I just say, I feel like today we unlocked spicy Topher.
We did.
But it's very, very clear.
Topher, I think.
Spicy Topher needs a half a bottle of whiskey, right? Yeah. That's the key. You want to unlock spicy Topher, get him a half a bottle in before the show, and then you'll get him.
Lame. That's spicy Carlz just flies off a handle at the drop of a hat.
Listen. I'm terribly sorry. We're having connection issues with Carlz. What a shame. Oh, terrible. Oh, crying shame. Oh, she's back. Oh, crap.
All right, guys, I must go. I must eat. Otherwise, you will see a side of me that's not nice.
All right. Bye, everybody. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you on Wednesday. Bye.
Bye.